Lexi. I will Alt-Tab to activate the stream scene, and then you won't get the music for a few seconds. I've been complaining about this in my mind for at least a week, and I'm sure I'll be complaining about it again forever. Gonna find a UI designer or a UI designer or someone else. Probably wouldn't just be general game design. UI designer seems great. My hair is too long. And my roots are regrowing. They're background. Yeah, that's enough to be discordantly disruptive to everyone. That's very watered down. It's not nearly as thick as you may expect. It's a whole bunch of shards of ice as well. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're replying to in a second. Oof. I just had like a difficult 30 minutes as one thing after another. It's not even very fair, but jeez. Passwords. There's nothing like passwords that'll make me angry and irrational. Actually, we're upgrading it away from just complaining. Yeah, thank you, Lucky. That's fair. You see, like, I don't know, right? I think I'd like it shorter, to the point where I'm considering asking my favorite hairdresser even shorter than normal. Same green color, a little bit shorter. Let's go, no, I don't even have appropriate. No, Willow, please. So frustrated, I felt like throwing my phone across the room. Oh, wow, very good, Luxy, thank you. No, that's so unreasonably mean. Oh my god, 10 layers of passwords. To even get to the point where you need to fuck around with the thing you've established, which I recognize is very good and very secure and is very reasonable. Well, yeah, they might be, but they don't make me feel less stupid. That's an important part of the authentication question if we're taking my desires into account. Minimize the time I feel stupid. That's pretty important. Yeah, you do watch almost every stream, that is true. You're higher than 3, that's for sure. Like, we can't... Taking the make Jim feel stupid least as a metric is difficult, but authentication is not a solved problem no matter how many times security people say it is. Because we can still forget it. Duh! And worse than that, and I think it's actually a much bigger and more annoying problem, is that it can not work even when you remember it fine. And all of the thing you know and thing you have part, the thing you know and the thing you have part are in your mind, like perfectly. Sorry, thing you know and thing you have. So like having a passkey on a device that you have ownership of and knowing a password at the same time. Like, they can still fuck up. Constantly. Ask me how I know, right? Have never been able to put down my service desk roots, and I never want to. Because the biggest lesson I've taken from it is that generally issues never come up out of nowhere. Never come up out of nowhere. And are actually most likely often not user error. Even if you're explaining it as user error. God, the lessons, the training, the teaching. What I taught people. Oh, good job, little K. Willow, I have not yet set up OBS to stream to the TV yet. Maybe soon, right? It's another challenge. I don't have time for technical challenges. I have mental spoons for it. Yeah. Jeez. What was I saying about the thing you have and the thing you know? Sorry, the thing you are is finger, you know? Think people don't get burns on their fingers? I get burns on my fingers. You can get like rope burn that isn't enough to think, oh, I need to see a doctor, and it will fuck up your fingerprint enough to make it no longer work. Pretty easily. Apple's Face ID is a little bit better at resisting that. We'll get weird lag hiccups. Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty good. I also maintain that the weird lag hiccups is potentially less likely to do with internet speed and um, less likely to do with generic internet speed and more likely to be upload speed from this machine. No, not from this machine. From this machine that hitting the point where it's like, okay, time to travel over bare copper. Your fingerprints do grow back, sure, absolutely, but that doesn't help the person who wants to log in at that moment. That was also, yeah, God, authentication. But now that you have performed manual intervention, thank you, Willow, it does appear to be working, and I can log in both on a device and luckily on my computer. Ta-da, we're good. The problem is solved for now, but bad time for it to come up. Not your fault. Okay, that's pretty important. Not your fault. And if you were proposing hey, if we're not in a scenario where you're proposing improvements or suggestions to me, but if you were, I've thought about this already, you may have noticed, and you were like, and I said, what's the benefit you're proposing? And you said, not autosave, we want this one. You said, I want to play with it. That's pretty reasonable. That's a very reasonable thing. Not even for a second? Oh, man. I was hoping for at least, like, 1 second. Maybe? No? Oh. Not even if I didn't fiddle with it? Ah, well. Sterling Hagman. Hail, Fatebinder. The disfavored scout nods at your approach. Comes up on her head. Don't mind us. We're just clearing out the rubble. I still don't understand what I've done to offend. Oh, no. Yeah, this is that guy. I still don't know what I've done to offend. I respect that these are now disfavored lands, and I'm happy to give the Legion a proper toll, but she's going on about trading rights. What nonsense is that? I'm not allowed to trade one thing for another. It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort. This is none of my concern. Carry on. See, reducing administrative load for you is an absolute benefit, right? Right you are. We'll take care of this vulture. The crescent runner nods to you with a knowing smile. You think he's gonna live? Oh, he's gone. 39
Not happening.
No, but what about?
No dice.
No, what about?
Can't do that.
Neither of us have enough
On it.
subterfuge. Not sneaky enough to unlock locks. What's that? Humble grave for the sword lies before you. A battered sword has been used as a marker, the initial B deeply
A
engraved
modest
into the
grave
iron.
for the Archon's son, Brennix. We don't bother with funeral rites in the chorus. No point in thanking conscripts for their duty.
The Archon's son?
Can't do that.
It'll be good, especially now that I'm over the hump, right? I want to mess with some of the other tools with it. Like, I think on Wednesday I said I'll recopy some things that I'm not mentioning on the live stream. Just to see if they work again. And I haven't yet. I just haven't. The wood cut for these parapets is pristine and finely cut. These walls have yet to see battle. Garrus's edict was to be personally delivered to the Archons. Find them in the disfavored camp. Gateguard holds up a warning hand. Go no farther. You approach disfavored ground. State your business. I am Monhas, Fatebinder of Tunon. I bring words from Kairos, words for your commander's ears. Ah, see the fire starter. Sirius and the company is returning from the burning library, telling some harrowing stories about Kairos' edict of fire. I think myself brave, but I'm happy to have been far from it all. Must have been a terrifying honor to be the messenger of such righteous force. Going in. The soldier gestures toward the gate. The Archons are expecting you. You'll find them in the war tent, center of the camp. What's the quick save button? Is it F5? It is not. Controls. Interface. Quick save. Quick save. Good lord. I haven't saved game menu. Well, if that's all we get, we'll do it. Quick save. There it is. I'll just look past it.
Sorry, I can't.
Cart is bursting with fresh goods. Fresh food and useful goods. I think that's part of it. I was like, I swear I've already done this. The table is lined with various medicinal herbs. It would appear that they have been carefully rationed. Carefully skinned game hang from this branch. They appear sickly and malnourished. Keep an eye on those Scarlet Chorus over there. Oh, 20! Yoink. Sin! Dare you defile me? That was so little. Actually pretty reasonable. But still, I've done far dumber. And not ended. We'll see. Oh, if I got so far, people are pretty good about what I'm like. Oh, I had such trouble and I felt so stupid with authentication. I get a puzzle plus for it, and that's good. That's supposed to be fun. Things I can actually complain about, not feel offended. These arrows were fletched with precision and care. Can I tooltip delay? Voice tooltip delay. Delay. What if it's not delay, but how long they come up for? Actually, don't do that. I think it's no. It's fine. No. Hail to you, guardian of the law. Merchant dressed in merchant finery greets... The man dressed in merchant finery greets you with a smile. If you have a few excess rings weighing you down, best unburden yourself before battle. You know that the disfavored must suffer a merchant in their camp, then the man must be selling only the finest provisions and armaments. He points at his collection of shields, rations, satchels, wineskins, and other sundries. Take a look and see if something interests you. Diplomat. Does that ever make you feel uneasy representing the South in an occupier's camp? It did once, he answers with care. But that was before I got the measure of your patron Arkan. Tunin speaks with fairness and wisdom. Unlike many of my countrymen, I was able to make this changing of the guard as comfortable as possible. A little treachery can be profitable, merchant. Verse jostles his wares playfully, sending him scrambling to retrieve them. He does his best to recover unperturbed. Kairos is the right and proper authority of the realm, my lady. My lady, there's no treachery in that. In spite of his airs of confidence, he casts a worried glance out of the corner of his eye. How'd you come to work with the disfavored? Hard work and good suppliers. When Tunin's men came to my village, all the merchants were given different lists of what they were or weren't permitted to trade. He smiles, hand on hips. In Kairos' wisdom, my record must have been a good one because I was given the right to trade in all manner of goods, most importantly arms. Not a lot of merchants can legally sell weapons. He was like that even before Kairos. Pentable rubs his hands, eyes alight. Let's see if we can find something you might like. So, I finished Cyberpunk again today. And I said, not for the first time and certainly not for the last time, to poor Emma Stitches who has heard this. I quote her at least once this year and several times before that. It's 2026, by the way. That's what makes it a good joke. It was a good joke when she said it. And it is a slightly worse joke now that I'm repeating it. So yeah, what was I saying? I've forgotten. Oh well. Cyberpunk is still a really good game. I told her, this is one of the best games of all time. Got no time to chitter? Too much armor to mend. Speak to Uncle Pentable, we've got rings to trade. It's like literally one of the best games ever made. The sparring dummy shows the deep gouges of hard use. These spears are uniform in their quality craftsmanship. Free shield. And so, I don't think it's a real campaign. I don't want to change anyone's mind on it. But if you're able to play Cyberpunk and you can sink your teeth into the game and, get into the characters, listen to this, engage in the story and really enjoy that, do it. Put time aside. Doesn't have to be as long as it takes me. But it's absolutely fantastic. You also don't have to install 200 mods. You should. You should. But you don't have to, right? Yusatanus curses the air as a blade of thin iron breaks in half beneath his hammer. Repairing weapons with scrap isn't exactly why I got into this craft, but our supplies are spent. He wipes the sweat from his brow and gets a better look at you. Why not forge bronze? Bronze will do in a pinch, don't get me wrong. I can take a beating and I get bent back into shape, unlike the stubborn iron we have here. He glances at a pile of work with dread. And we always have plenty of tin and copper lying around, so supplies aren't the problem. It's a rare smith who can churn out military-grade bronze consistently. More often than not, it comes out soft. Look around camp. We're garbing the Legion head to toe in iron because it's cheaper and easier to produce for the masses. Couldn't do that with bronze. They call the disfavor the Iron Legion for a reason. Strategy and skill may be our backbone, but our claws are made of iron, the good stuff that comes from the smiths in Lithian's Crossing. You mentioned an iron shortage. I'm afraid so. The last shipment sent down the Matani went missing the Echo Hall Crossing, and I'm afraid we won't be seeing any more now that the valley is sealed. Forge-bound iron is Tunan's responsibility. Why is this the first I'm hearing of it? Keep your voice down. Isatanus flinches and lowers his own. Gravenhash doesn't want to cause a panic or pass any information to the Vendrian Guard. Best case scenario, the iron tumbled off a boat and is rusting on a riverbed. Worst case, it ends up in enemy hands. If I find myself an echo call, I suppose I can keep an eye out. I appreciate that. As does the great general, more than you might guess. Maybe he isn't quick to offer his thanks to outsiders, but I know you'll be grateful for your help. It would be a boon to the war effort if our iron was recovered. You can trust me to handle this. I knew that Tuna wouldn't have dispatched you without good reason. The court isn't exactly known for gambling when the stakes are high. He glances to a crate beside him and points to a small set of notches on the wood. See that? That's how we tell apart our iron shipments from the rest. Inconspicuous, so people don't go snooping around. You want to keep your eye out for these. Good hunting. Need something else? Oh, I don't. Do I want to change anyone's mind? No, I don't. I don't want to change anyone's mind, right? I don't want to force anyone into anything either. But I highly recommend you play Cyberpunk. Do you have to install 500 mods? 500 mods? No. Should you? Like, yeah. Not just because I can no longer tell what I really enjoyed that was vanilla and what I really enjoyed that was modded, but...
Sorry, I can't.
Installing them with a mod manager is not that painful. Give Nexus money, and it's even less. It's like completely painless. Just adds so much. Just adds so much. Can't make out the ironclad soldier's expression under his twisted helmet. He merely stares at you. You're not wrong, Loxy. This is all your fault, you Kairos dog. Fresh straw in the corner of this prison absorbs much of the stench. A meager portion of game simmers in a large copper pot.
Hey,
Fragrant spices
over there.
attempt to mask the potent smell of whatever creature they've decided to cook. Agate and garnets. I don't mind if I do. I am Lucia. This is Marcus. The disfavored soldier points to the albed man next to her. He must be the Fatebinder. From under her helmet, you hear an audible scoff. We have been assigned to babysit. Assigned to your hospitality. Marcus quickly interjects while you remain on disfavored ground. If you should need a place to rest, we can make the necessary preparations. What can we do for you? Marcus, tell me about yourself. I'm not sure there's much to tell you. I trained at Fort Resolution. This is my first campaign, and I'm proud to be with the Legion. I was wounded at the Gates of Judgment, but Gravenash's protection mended me good. I owe my life to him. Are you bragging that you let your guard down and took a spear to the gut? You really shouldn't boast about a filthy tearsman besting you in battle. Lucia rolls her eyes. You just spitted at Lord Ashton seems to notice you. Well, they can practice and then get more mods as they go. In all seriousness, I would take that spear again if it brought honor to the disfavored. Kairos knows we could use it. We are the elite fighters of the Northern Army, but somehow we still lack the Overlord's confidence. He shakes his head and laughs. Lucia, tell me about yourself. I do this. She unenthusiastically lifts up her heavy shield. And I do this. She mockingly stabs at the air with her spear. Lucia shrugs. Playing host is not my strong suit. Ignore my sarcasm. I've seen the Legion through my share of campaign. After so much bloodshed, our pretenses of honor can weigh me down. She turns a cautious eye your way. The North is my home, and I consider each and every one of the ironclad bastards in this camp to be family. You won't find another army where each member of the phalanx is as beloved and as cherished as the next. You seem handy with a weapon, Lucia. Disfavored. Favor 1. Hi. If you ever want some pointers on how to use that weapon of yours, just let me know. She winks. Lucia, are you flirting with Tunan's fate bender? Relax, Marcus. There are plenty of camp slaves if I ever have to scratch an itch. Although, to the visors of her helm, you notice Lucia's eyes revving up and down your body. If you ever need someone to warm your bedroll, let me know. I sleep in my armor. Hope you don't mind. How have your skills fared in battle against the Oathbreakers, Marcus? Disfavored. Favor 1. Every battle is a reminder of the Legion's superiority. The Oathbreakers have plenty of heart, but nothing to beat our Northern values and Graven Ash's love. If you ever want to enjoy that feeling, I can spare you the time of day to cross iron. What's it like serving with the Disfavored? In spite of the name, the Legion commands more honor than any military on the face of Tyranny. Unlike the Chorus, there is tradition, discipline, teamwork, and unity of purpose. Marcus looks out across the camp. There aren't many of us, but it's better that way. We're a tightly knit family bound together by trust and glory. Accurate enough, Lucia shrugs. After seeing the disunity and bickering of the younger realm defenders, I feel lucky to be in the most agreeable Legion of Kyrus' host, even if we're not the most efficient. If the Legion boasts so much honor, why are they disfavored? Insufficient reputation. I'm afraid that isn't for me to say. Others around camp may be able to tell you more, but I don't freely discuss a great general's history to outsiders. But you'll say it involves a great general, which is already a telling clue, idiot. Drat. At least the Iron Marshal isn't within earshot. I'll be washing my mouth out with wormwood. Lucia, I'd like some training. I can't press 10. I have to click it. Finally. Some fun to break up the monotony of the siege. Oh, we have to pay for it. Fuck. That's annoying. It's funny. I used 2 single one-hand weapons and, okay. That is in the fate button. Marcus, select some training. 2-handed weapons. Parry. Look, parry is probably worth it. You can get her to level 5 ranks, okay. Cool. Cool, we'll just train in parry. That's great. Unfortunately, what I really wanted was dual weapon fighting or something. Or subterfuge would have been best, but I'm not surprised they tell them. From a vantage point, you see tents trail off, obscured by the rising smoke of campfires. The soldiers you see appear somber and quiet, as if the calm before the storm. Okay. So... Come on. Kyrus' Edict. If Ascension Hall has not been taken by the forces before morning on the Day of Swords, all in the valley in this edict will perish. Where is Encyclopedia? I'm looking for a very specific calendar. 14 spans, each span is 26 days long, 5 weeks, called Fists of 5 days each. The last day of the span is Kyrus' Day, a day of rest. Day of the span. Judge's Day, 18th span of blood, right? Well, formal, using the fist end of the year. 14th span of Kyrus' year. Forge fire tempering. Anyway, span of storms. Why are we doing this? And it is complicated? It's one of the coolest things, and you can do it very quickly. Morning on the Day of Swords. Cool. What day is it today? Morning on the Day of Swords. What? Morning on the Day of Swords. True reckoning. Days of each fist are named after roles. Warrior, healer, judges, farmers, smith. Span of swords. Date. Refer to the date by the order of his day in the span. Second judges of Frostfall. Ah, fuck. So, Judge's Day. So we change it until it changes to Farmer's Day. Okay. I may have to load a quick save. So the edict says before morning on a particular day. What if we read the edict not right away? What if we say
There's
sleep
4
for a
reports
while
of
first?
avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9. They have neither the capacity nor the cause to close off the mountain passes. Either way, that leaves the 2nd and 4th cohort trapped outside the valley.
The Archon of War pounds his staff on the ground to punctuate his words. A large and imposing man to begin with, his profile is made larger still by his hulking suit of armor that hums with mystic energy.
Or it's the work of your perfidious Earthshakers. Only a fool would not suspect a traitorous Archon of poisoning the mind of his students with sedition. We would have killed the Earthshakers Guild for their master's treachery, but I'm sure you have some perfectly valid reason for allowing them to live as your pawns.
The Archon of Secrets passes a scepter between his hands as he speaks, twirling the rod in hypnotic circles. You hear the voices in your head. Well, hello there, Fatebinder. We'll be with you in just a moment. Emerald luminescence seeps from the seams of the Archons. Bringing me ever closer to what if I buy a new case and keyboard for my iPad that matches both my phone case and my AirPod case. Plans within plans. I'm not spending $200 on an Apple keyboard. I like hard cases, damn it. Anyway. Emerald luminescence seeps from the seams of the Archon's ragged red robes. The glow is most noticeable where his neck ought to be. His mask seems to float and spin, never pivoting or bending naturally.
Hey, watch yourself. When these two get going, you don't want to get between them.
First whispers fearfully as she beholds the Archons. I'm here to proclaim Kyrus' edict. The valley was sealed in preparation for this moment. You gain favor of the voices in the right, Scarlet Chorus, Graven Ash, and disfavored. The Queenslayer. Sensing a presence, the disfavored commander snaps into a firm salute. No doubt your presence here will strike despair into the hearts of our enemy. Lord Ash, Lord Narat, our guest is here. Bow to the Archons. Actually, hey, let's use a diplomat. That's perfect. Bow and salute each Archon.
Ah, the fire starter has arrived. Welcome, welcome. Our agents tell us such lovely stories of what you did at the Vellum Citadel. Have you come bearing another fragment of Kairos' wrath in tow?
My soldiers tell me you helped Commander Drotus on your way through Edring. You honor the court with your selfless cooperation, for that is the sort of camaraderie that Kairos demands of us all.
On the last of his words, the Archon of War glares at the voices of Narat, furrowing his brow as he utters the word camaraderie. I come bearing an edict of Kairos.
It seemed only yesterday you were proving your worth in battle, assisting my warriors in the siege of the bastard city. Now Kairos has chosen you for a second time to proclaim an edict. Tell us, good Fatebinder, what sort of punishment does the Overlord have in store for the Oathbreakers?
Anyone else noticing how I'm trying to treat them equally, make good friends of all of them? The Overlord's loyal servants must hold Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords. Kairos' Day of Swords! Kairos' Day of Swords! So this Sunday, or all in the valley shall perish. The earth sways with each word you utter, the air thickening with warmth as you pronounce the tersely phrased commandment, its every syllable drafted by the hand of Kairos. With the edict proclaimed, your pulse quickens and the muscles in your legs, worn from a long trip down the mountains, feel renewed, the tired limbs now nearly buoyant with vigor. And that's good, but we're going to do it again.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. We'll
Hey,
So
whatever.
you
This doesn't matter. Okay, whatever.
I won't.
We'll go through this again properly once I load a save. Because we're going to be tricky. We're going to be tricksy.
Finally,
We're going to be clever. I don't care. We'll watch all these again in a minute. Because Farmer's Day is not long away. For example, 19th Span of Swords. Checking out the valley. Whatever. We'll take a look at that soon. We need to load our game. Ash's tent.
On it.
We will do all the dialogue the same way until we get
That's
to the same
four.
point.
Hey, watch yourself. When these two get.
My soldiers tell me you helped. It seemed only yesterday you were proving your worth
Oh,
in
shit.
battle.
You can puzzle plus me because I forgot that I was going to do something before I continued the conversation.
The Overlord.
Sorry, that is
I-
very silly of me.
Finally, look what you. If you.
Whoops. Okay. Oh, it's Sunday. It's Sunday, baby.
Right.
Kairos' day, essentially Sunday. What comes after Farmer's Day? God, I wish I could wish for 24 hours straight. I'd hate that. If I was able to bank sleep up, I think that'd be great. I'd hire a very comfortable hotel, or maybe like a hospital bed with nurses to turn me over while I stayed asleep. And I would take annual leave, and I would bank up like 2 weeks? 2 weeks. 2 weeks of sleep? As much as I could get. As literally as much as I could get. Right? As much as I could get away with, I'd bank it all up and then not sleep for that 2 weeks. And it would be blissful. I'd be so happy. Functionally, it wouldn't be very useful. The exchange rate would be terrible, wouldn't it? I think you can... In Brandon Sanderson's Farukami, you can store wakefulness. You can. It's essentially the same. Being able to do it on less than a 1-to-1 ratio is a real secret here, so I would let myself be Kairos' Day of Swords. Be incredibly sleepy, right? For 6 hours? A work day. I'd pretend to work and be incredibly sleepy and try not to actually sleep, right? Warrior's Day, Span of Blood. Whoops! Looks like I found a loophole, Kairos. Now I've got, what, 4 weeks or more? 5 weeks? Fuck you.
That's 4 reports of avalanches in the mountains now. The Tearsmen can barely count past 9.
Hey, watch it.
Ah, the fire starter has arrived.
My soldiers tell me you helped Commander Drotus on your... It seemed only yesterday you were proving your worth in battle, assisting my warriors in the siege of the bastard city. Now Kairos has chosen you...
Edict.
The Overlord means to compel us into action. No doubt the avalanches in the mountains are part of this ultimatum. We must conquer the Oathbreakers or die in failure. There is no room for error, and no other way out of this valley alive. We'll need to advance across the Mittani. We lose everything if we stand still, and we move to back up Plan Green. The Earthshakers didn't make it over the mountain in time. So we do this the hard way. Over the walls instead of through.
The Archon of War taps a finger against his temple. A low rumble escapes from under his beard.
So you found your backbone at last! Oh, we were worried past humiliations would make you soft, timid. That was a record for you, right? A baker's dozen lost in one sortie. If you had waited for the chorus reinforcements, maybe we'd have eyes and ears on the matter.
The Archon of Secrets passes his scepter from one hand to the next, chuckling softly with each toss. You hear the voices in your head. Watch him squirm. So many tears over replaceable, expendable, useless soldiers. I miss the old Archon of War. You never see blood echo in a blubbering mess over a few dead killers. He'd use the knuckle bones of his best disciples for jewelry, and he even made a breastplate out of his dead brother's rib cage, because that's how a real man deals with grief. Bicker all you wish. You're just wasting valuable time.
The Fatebinder is right. We're acting not as leaders, but as children. I've no time for your foolish japes and petty taunts. We should focus on the objective at hand, and that is taking the Mittani River, and then advancing to Ascension Hall and ending this edict.
Our lives hang in the balance because you two bicker like children. Now go, solve this problem you've started. Wrath for the voices of Narat and Graven Ash. My lord, Barik and his brand have been drilled on the Echo Call assault plan. The Crescent Runners should be briefing him as we speak regarding the latest enemy movements along the river. I will dispatch him at once. The Iron Marshal salutes, clapping a gauntlet to her breastplate. Barik, do you know him only by name? Barik is a commander of the Stone Shields and well regarded by the disfavored High Command. And I will ensure the chorus stands ready to march. If the disfavored can take the river, the chorus has the manpower to secure the outer ring of the valley.
Our soldiers clamor for battle, and at last we shall have it. Verse, we command you to continue guarding the Fatebinder. Tunan's Chosen is our honored guest, and must be shown our finest hospitality.
The voices of Narat might be telling me might be telling Verse to kill me.
I won't let you down, boss. He'll get through the campaign in one piece, as long as he doesn't do anything too stupid.
I have over 1,000 puzzle pluses, thank you. The Archon twirls his scepter one last time. You hear the voices in your head. Suit yourself, Fatebinder. The more you ignore us. And it taps a fifth eye on the shoulder, and the two depart. I am ignoring the hidden messages between him and me.
The fool and his puppet are gone. Perhaps now I can hear myself think. Rarely do I question Kairos' judgment, but I will never understand why the voices of Narat is given such authority. I shudder to think what will become of us all should Tunon favor him in the end.
In the end of what?
Though the edict threatens the Scarlet Chorus just as it threatens us, I cannot shake the feeling that our allies will work against us. Queenslayer, I would ask that you join us in battle, if only for the satisfaction of your presence enraging the enemy. You've shown your worth in war, and your name has been known to the Legion since the very beginning of this long conquest. So I'd ask that you join us this one last time, to help us wrap up this last objective. If you wish to be counted amongst the glorious, speak with the Iron Marshal. She will direct the order of battle until we are ready for the final push into the Citadel.
I'm short a few scouts, short a few soldiers, and short a few everything. I'm sure my brethren would be grateful for the assistance of a skilled outsider. And what of the Scarlet Chorus? No, I'll be honored to help. The Iron Marshal salutes Graven Ash and turns to leave the tent. I'll be at the training grounds, readying the soldiers. Find me there when you are ready. She pauses, clearing her throat. And though I am loath to mention it, the chorus can likely use your assistance. They certainly won't secure the outer valley on their own. Fifth Eye will be somewhere in that rat's nest they call a camp, due east. Seek him out, if you must. 363 days left till Kairos' Day of Swords. My oh my. This battle report from the Echo Call Crossing blames the failure of the assault on the village, other than the Scarlet Chorus. Apparently, their scouts failed to report critical enemy intelligence about the enemy composition.
Got it.
Yoink. Ooh, Iron Walker. Falcon of War lifts out alongside as he surveys the maps and models splayed out battle on his desk. He glances over his shoulder, making brief eye contact with you, furrows his brow, then turns back to contemplation. The first time you proclaimed an edict, you gave the enemy a suspicious amount of time to ready themselves. I chalk it up to excessive mercy for a backwards people. When the edict is against your kin, that order you follow to the letter. May we speak a moment? I tire of all this endless prattle. I am the Archon of War, and the Overlord has decreed battle. If you wish to help, go speak to my soldiers. Return when you have done something useful. The Archon of War pounds the heart of his maul against the ground.
Quiet down.
Oh, you'll do it right away. I gave you 364 days. I'm a genius. 363, sorry.
I'll be your shadow.
To sort it out. Like, I'm amazing. Fuck you. Anyway, take the Outer Valley. Speak with the Fifth Eye, speak with Iron Marshal. Scarlet Chorus disfavored. Ooh, a level 2 favor. Graven Ash reputation change, and your faction is linked to him. Graven Ash. Ooh, above 3. He likes us a lot. Voices in the rat, not yet 2. Ooh. Aggravated by arrogant words and actions. She's loyal. That's pretty good. Welcome back, Fatebinder. Lucia here was just mentioning that, only because you asked, that you've been a real asset to this favored ever since you arrived. Not that anyone expected different. He beams at you with pride. What about the disfavored? Disfavored favor too. This story is common knowledge, but we don't discuss it here out of... Well, it's not considered polite. It has to do with Graven Ash and the rise of Kairos' empire. I'm sure you can put some of the pieces together. Ash and Kairos weren't always on the best of terms, but all of that has changed. By rights, we should have a name worthy of our vaunted reputation by now, but she shrugs. Maybe someday after my children's children have inherited my armor, we'll have a better title to call our own. Bitter quip. Did I talk to you earlier? Glory to the voices of Narat! Projecting his salutation for all to hear, the grinning blood-tender raps his staff against the ground as you approach. Fatebinder Monhas, I presume. His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I am Bitterquip. I am here as the emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. Bitterquip looks at you impatiently. What can you tell me of the Scarlet Chorus? The Chorus is the future of the tears. I feel only derision and pity for those who fear our inevitable ascension. Bitterquip looks at you with a raised eyebrow. What in particular would you like to know? Tell me about the voices of Narat. He is supreme commander and public servant. He who sets us free but directs all. Bitterquip smiles as he talks, his face turning flush. The voices of Narat is the epitome of what each of us can be, a magician without equal and the leader of uncountable numbers. The voices and the chorus are one. Conquering, expanding, growing, changing, always stronger. Bitterquip pounds his staff on the ground. Glory to the voices. How did you come to join the Scarlet Chorus? The doctrine of strength speaks to me, and I answered its call, as did some of my arcane peers. I took to the chorus almost instantly. Unlike most, I cried not for the life of comfort lost to me. My magic invokes fear and terror, and I easily established my dominance over a pack in my early days in the chorus. If you're so curious about it all, Bitterquip smiles, lifting an eyebrow, perhaps you should visit our camp and see for yourself. What is your role in the chorus? That's the thing. I am a blood chanter. My magic can turn the will of man and the tide of battle. I've held command for 3 years now, though being forced to keep an eye on the disfavored is not the reward I had envisioned for my service thus far. Sounds as if you really like the voices of Narat. Bitterquip blinks several times and scowls, saying nothing. That's all for now. Bitterquip nods as you depart. What do you mean you haven't heard from Commander Ironcore? Last we heard, Master Edict said to keep an eye on the northeastern pass, that he'd be coming through there. For the mercy of Kairos. Tunon sends us the fire starter. I see how it is. Puffing with arms folded, the disfavored warrior bristles at your approach. He cranes his head to either side, cracking and popping the joints of his neck. I'd asked if he'd come to take over command once more, but not having been trusted with one since Vellum Citadel, you can't rob what I don't have. Gain major wrath. You should jaw with the Iron Marshal if you want to talk substance. I'm just managing patrols here. She and Ash are giving direction. What is it that you need? I've heard you asking that Earthshaker where their reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshakers, was supposed to arrive with a group of his most competent spellslingers to help break this stalemate. I don't know what's holding up their arrival, and that worries me. If you were all inclined to lend a hand, we could do some arcane support on our side. I could lend a hand. Northern Clearing is now unlocked on the world map. Could you? I knew that Tunan's agent wouldn't fail us in a time of need. I'll mark the last known site of our Earthshaker reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. Why do you think the siege has been delayed for so long? It should have been over quick and simple. The first cohort arrived in the valley and went straight for the kill, but that was before we knew that the Vendrian Guard had sages and that water witch on their side. The bigger problem is the Scarlet Chorus. They eagerly conscript the Vendrian Guard, but I have no proof of this. But it seems they do very little to keep a watchful eye on these drafted tiersmen. They're often sent out on patrol, and we suspect they use that opportunity to escape back to the Vendrian Guard. Every chorus conscript has a choice, life under Kairos or death under the army's boots. By all means, feel free to cut down those who choose the latter. We won't be offended. Just so we don't mistake each other, I know what I'm saying carries an implication of treachery. I'm not making a formal accusation before Tunan's agent. I'm just voicing my gut opinion on the matter. The two armies haven't worked well together in years. Why do you think that is? Come on, Binder. Seems like asking why beasts stink. It is favored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' piece to the tiers, while the Scarlet Chorus bring only mayhem in their wake. You can tell me the voices of Narad has a plan, I'll take your word for it, but the Chorus sure seems to blunder around, never moving with purpose, as we do. I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from more battles than he's won. If you want to call that progress, be my guest. Unless we find a way to work as one, I fear that the Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Graven Ash's strategies at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the voices of Narad is here to amuse himself, while the rest of us are here to do our job. Tell me about yourself. Not much to tell. My father was Severus the Elder. Sevius the Elder. His father was Sevius the first of his name. Led Drillmaster of Ash's first Iron Guard, back when they were the Bronze Guard. I was born into the Legion and certainly hope I'll die in the Legion. The rest you will hopefully hear about when the storytellers immortalize me. He was in the Bronze Guard, so your family must have been with Ash since before he was with Kairos. Lord. Before he bent the knee to Kairos, Graven Ash rallied his legions against the Overlord's authority. His prowess on the battlefield ingratiated him to the Archons, who welcomed him into their ranks in exchange his obedience. Aye. You know your history. Sevious lords with gusto. The blood goes back that far. Another memory is just I only ever knew my father. My grandfather was just a legend. One of Ash's best warriors before the disfavored were reforged in iron. He shrugs. I'm proud of my heritage, but I try not to brag. There are folks who love the Legion every bit as much as I do, but they lack the same pedigree. You should be proud of your pedigree. Thanks. But I try not to think about it too fondly. If anything, every time I screw something up, I wish I wasn't dragging the family name to the mud with me. If I do the lore again, am I going to gain more favor? Oh, Bronze Guard. Well, his day and age was a century ago. They didn't have Kairos' modern luxuries like iron. So back then, the great general's inner council was known as the Bronze Guard. Back to my other questions. Farewell. Earthshaker reinforcements. Look at that. Getting all sorts of quests. Hey, Barik. You still can't make out his expression. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take in the momentum. Iron Marshal Eranos, field commander of the disfavored, pounds her fist in the air and she calls out to the warriors in the training field. I set eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. What do you think, Willow? Accurate? The disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat as she clears her throat. Judging from her uniform, this is the Iron Marshal Eranos. Yeah, we know that. Need to stay on top of the troops so their skills will rest. It's for their own good, even if they don't believe it. How are your warriors reacting to the edict? Kairos' ultimatum has camp on edge, some with dread, but most are rife with anticipation. She points to the men sparring in the field. We have a lot of brothers and sisters to avenge, and the warriors are eager to take out some aggression. I, for one, choose to see the edict as a blessing, for it forces the generals to act, and we're long overdue. It was mentioned that you're short on warriors and need help. What's the situation? Footwork. I said eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. You observe while cooking. Don't fuck up. Oof. Thank you, comrade. I may indeed end up with a tally from poor comrade while he's busy cooking. My brigades amassing along the Placid Echo Call and Little Tooth crossings. The Venturing Guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concerted three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but her words falter, a short cough breaking her flow. But we all die to Kairos' edict should we fail, so I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. I will assist. And our plan might just work. The Iron Marshal lifts a gauntlet close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with these who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tuna the Adjudicator selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust you will honor us on the field. And he will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing, assisting you with the Barik at the Stone Shields. She points to a heavily armored soldier standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the Forgebound weren't sloshed on Dappleseed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and his armor doesn't exactly come off. Tactically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, Erinios signals that a hulking presence. Barik, come meet the Fatebinder. A soldier that steps up to you better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
An honor.
Likewise, good Binder.
The soldier heaves a heavy iron arm into a salute, his whole body clanging as he wraps his gauntlet against the twisted sheets of metal that form his breastplate.
Barik, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Just a minute, you two know each other?
No. Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
She regards Barik with a mixed look.
We don't have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
Ooh, business.
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Graven Ash leave you out in the rain?
Barik sighs, a frustrated growl shaking his iron enclosure of his suit. I know him as well as I knew anyone during the conquest.
That can change. When the tiers are fully under our command, I'll take you to whatever passes for a watering hole in this forsaken country. We'll drink the local swill to honor the fallen.
Forget the fallen. I know a great brothel in Lethian's Crossing where we can watch something rise, then fall, then rise again.
Yes, please. Sounds like an excellent afternoon. Like a specific public holiday or something. The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help. More importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus tries to impede the mission, we will have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
He nods to you, his armor creaking as he bends his neck. I ask that Barik accompany you there to arbitrate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Barik, you've been without a cohort since the last battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in clipped official terms. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder's service. You are to assume this task is ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swiftly approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Barik regards the Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. That's an order, Barik. She shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. I'm honored to have a member of the Iron Legion at my side. Excellent. I look forward to your success in the field. A second party member? Phew, don't mind if I do. Strength. Strength. Increase strength. Why would we not? He's good with bows, too. I don't know what tagging that does. +1 resolved. To everyone. Jeez, okay. Punisher, Sentinel. We're gonna take the taunt, please. Duelist and skirmisher. Yeah, use that one on each. That makes sense. Earthshaker reinforcements and Forgebound Eye in the side quests. So it's fully polished and shine my nails. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Oh, I gotta edge these roads. Look at all that! Jesus, okay. This favored Earthshaker is reportedly travel dislocation and may still be present. Let's go. That's better. Let's go to Northern Clearing. 12 hours, 15 minutes. Talking to Scarlet Chorus later. Typical. Ambush! Your path is blocked by a small group of Vendrian guard. You can go no farther until you deal with them. I'd love to. Poor chat's been listening to me, like, talk for an hour with no interruption. Let's see if I can fuck up some combat first.
That's far enough, Fatebinder.
Hi, Eb. A woman's voice booms from atop a nearby outcropping. Flashes of aquamarine body paint peek out from under her loose-fitting traveler's garb, and her outfit is festooned in braids and knots of sailor's line. The body paint, braided adornments, and stylized staff mark this woman as a Tidecaster, one of the southern mage schools you encountered in 429 TR during the first campaign in Vendrian's Well. The School of Tides was once a powerful sect of mages with a mastery over water and command of the moon's arcane light. The majority of the elders of the school fled in 426. Fearing the Kairos' coming conquest, and of the few that remained, nearly all were slain or imprisoned by the voices of Norat. Flanked on either side of the warriors dressed in Vendrian guard regalia, the woman leans on an elaborate bladed staff pulsing with arcane energy. A swath of blue fabric rests draped over her arm. The blue flag is a symbol of diplomacy and truce recognized across most of the known world. It is a custom the Tearsmen hold dear. To harm another person under the auspices of a blue flag is a grave offense. In both the Tears and Kairos' empire, the customary punishment is death.
Tunon sends us the Queenslayer. The old judge has a sense of humor, I'll give him that.
Gain major fear.
Did the voices of Nurat send you to gather my head and complete his collection? If so, we'll have to save our tussle for another time. Today I have business. Vengeance can wait. In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I offer and request a delay of blade. There are matters we must discuss without fear of reprisal.
The woman bows deeply, lowering her head in a practiced display of etiquette. The warriors by her remain in a ready stance, their nerves clearly on edge. In accordance with ancient customs north and south, I abide by this truce.
As is our custom, we are ready to kill to defend our lands, but we kill only in fair battle. We don't slay our prisoners. We know this isn't Kairos' way, but we must have hope. A few of my kin have gone missing, and though they may have perished, I have to inquire on the off chance they still live. If Captain Tarkus Deimos still lives, we would negotiate for his release.
One of the leaders of the attack on the Edgering ruins, Tarkus Deimos was subdued in battle. In accordance with the disfavored, you ordered him executed. Tarkus Deimos is dead.
I see. That is as I feared, but thank you for telling me all the same. I prefer closure to wishful thinking. If I may make one more inquiry, what of Palox Tyrell? Did he survive?
They rarely had the luxury of matching names that the countless tearsmen even counted. He recently said she's asking about the Ventrian Guard warrior that took Drasus hostage at the Adrian ruins. He did not survive the encounter. Another dead Earth. Palox Tyrell is dead. She nods slowly, saying nothing for a long moment.
My apologies, Fatebinder. I had a terrible feeling this errand was in vain from the start. I had no expectations that our friends could be saved, as I'm sure the time for swapping prisoners is long gone. But at least I know of what became of them. That'll have to be enough.
I have some questions for you.
We shouldn't be socializing with Oathbreakers.
I will entertain them as best I can. After all, understanding is the only hope we have. What is it you wish to know?
How did you and your friends overthrow the garrison?
I would joke that the voices of Nerat left the gate unlatched, but dozens of warriors lost their lives taking the citadel. There was no secret to it. We simply attacked with speed and certainty at a time when the Archons were elsewhere in the tiers. The Scarlet Chorus had a rout, and what few disfavored soldiers were present made an impressive showing. But they were surrounded and overwhelmed once the chorus fled.
Who's in charge of this insurrection?
Listen to you. Thinking just like the Overlord wants you to think. There always has to be a person in charge, or things don't make sense. Well, we don't answer to anyone. We are each of us sons and daughters of the Tiers, and take this task upon ourselves freely. But Captain Tarkus Ari, former Falksman of Queen Vendry and Alanta, is the voice we trust when we seek unanimity.
I assume Tarkus Ari and Tarkus Deimos are relations.
Yes. Deimos was Ari's brother. We were certain he was dead, but the captain takes family seriously, so I volunteered to find some answers. And now here we are.
Were there prisoner swaps in the past?
That is our way, Binder. Here in the south, only thugs and bandits kill prisoners. The younger realms may be guilty of constant fighting, but we never slay each other when the battle's long over. We're not about to change that now. As a rule, Kairos' forces haven't been keen on swapping prisoners. But I know our disfavored prisoners aren't prisoners anymore. I just assumed they were swapped for some of our own.
That's all.
Fair enough. But now a question for you. The Edict. I can feel its magic coursing through the air. Everyone can. But those of us enlightened to the currents of magic feel it most. The wording of the Edict. What was it?
It is a curse in the valley. Those disloyal to Kairos will slowly weaken and die.
2 armies aren't enough. Kairos needs an edict to weaken us too? We must have the Overlord terrified.
Oops.
Well, if that is our fate, so be it. Seems no worse than fire bubbling up from the soil. Thank you for letting me know. I've another question for you, if you will entertain it.
Are we really standing here and chatting with Oathbreakers? It's hard to watch. Like cuddling a goat you're going to kill for dinner.
No, we're done.
A shame. But if you have no heart for discourse, I will take no more of your time. In accordance to our ancient customs, north and south, let us conclude this truce in peaceful accord. May peace find you soon, Fatebinder.
She and her retinue turn to leave. Ooh.
I got it.
Received a message from Tulin. Monhas, word has reached us court that you've issued the Overlord's edict to the Archons of War and Secrets. Know that we understand fully the weight of this burden and appreciate the loyalty you show in this declaration. Provided you survive the span, your service will be duly recognized. As you navigate the idiosyncrasies and mutual antipathy of our Overlord's War Masters, remember that Kairos watches all with interest. Those who distinguish themselves, whether Fatebinder or Archon, have the opportunity to rise in the Overlord's esteem. Even now, the Northern Courts whisper that the more successful of the 2 Archons will be granted rule over the whole of the peninsula. Similarly, your fortunes rest upon the decisions you make. Choose wisely. Thank him for the advice. Archon Tunon, allow me to express my deep appreciation for this opportunity. Few in the Empire have the honor of treating with Archons, and fewer still have the of the reading of empowered words of the Overlord. I endeavor always to emulate your exemplary foresight and judgment. I remain in all things your faithful servant, Fatebinder Monhas. Send it. Ebb. Companion, eh? Interesting. Fear. Lots of fear. Oh. Well. A shiny thing in a rock, eh? 2 blood moss. My favorite. Oh, you got things to say. Everyone's got things to say.
Fatebinder, you look like you need to talk.
Barik nods to you.
What can I do for you?
You seem like more than a capable fighter. I trained with a spear and shield in my youth, but I gave it up the day I earned his favorite iron. I can still throw with some accuracy, but it's a challenge these days. He knocks twice on his helmet. Why, were you interested in a sparring session? I heard rumor that Ash has an unbeatable sword fighting technique. Insufficient reputation. Nothing is unbeatable. However, I'm not of a mind to share Ash's trainings to an outsider. I mean no offense. Show me how a northerner would impale a wild boar. Take no offense from this, but I prefer to keep my fighting techniques private for the time being. They are as personal to me as family secrets. Very well. I'm going to follow up with all of the dialogue with them soon. Not right away, but soon. Talking companions level up. Encounter in Vendrian's Well. You're following the road through an expanse of scrubby woodlands, crooked oaks and dry-needled pines grasping towards the sky, when you catch a sound of children's laughter filtering through the trees. Investigate. Abandoning the road, you make your way to a small tributary of the Matani snaking through the sparse forest. There you discover a group of 4 youths gathered beside this small stream. 2 of the children sit on the rocks, poles in hand, staring patiently at the water. The other 2 are seated near a bucket, taking turns whacking eels along the ground to stun them and carving up eel meat. Threaten the children. Let's just speak to them. You step out of the woods, drawing the attention of the children, who eye you warily. The eldest youth, almost a man grown, notes your heraldry and hawks a ball of phlegm into the reeds. Ask to sniggle. What's a sniggle? Ransom the children. Tempt athletics. Punish the spitter. Do that. Just tell a story. You've gained favor with Vendrian Guard. Okay. Well fed. Now I've got slightly more reputation with Vendrian Guard. Interesting. You raise your hands to calm the youngsters and ask if they've heard the tale of Pox and the elder boar of Burning Wood. When they look to one another without answer, you begin to spin the story for them. An odd and sometimes amusing yarn filled with epic adventure and dark mysticism. By the time you finish, the youth have become entirely absorbed in your story, utterly wrapped in their attention. The youngest of the children brings you an eel for exchange for your time. You thank them, and return to the road to continue your journey. Interesting. I like it. Mouth of moss. Small amount of eel gained. Oh, yeah, they're... I found signs of the Earthshakers. And a boar. Hey, look, Vendrian Guard. Earthshaker hood. So, don't waste your breath. We should just starve them out. I'm totally. Barik and the Fatebinder bang on their shields and army, harassing them. They attack Barik, while the Fatebinder's mocking gestures leave them confused. Death from above.
Sorry, I can't.
Electric jolt.
Sorry, I can't.
What's 6 stone? That's not very far. Warrior's Frostbite isn't far either.
Right.
Do 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 do.
Can't do that.
I'm not. Not here to make bread.
It's the Fatebinder. Okay, so let's electric jolt these fuckers. Neat, double stun, love it. target is compelled to attack Barik.
I got it.
Don't know about you, but I feel like fighting someone.
On it.
Another scar?
I'm going down!
Barik, what the hell, man? Yeah, whoa, you already used it. Okay, this. I don't know why you needed, you felt like you needed to.
Let's do it, you and me.
I'm injured.
Monhas is down.
Pity you won't enjoy it. Oh, God,
We're all
dark
down?
all of it.
Well, this is embarrassing. Whoops.
On it.
They won't see me coming.
Alright, alright. It's okay. We've got another idea. We can figure this out. Thought he was still cooking. Poison your weapon.
I'm feeling so good.
Taunt them all. You do that.
Yes.
Jeez, okay. You're poisoned. Let's do the rain of blood thing. Can you level up right away? Because that would be pretty useful. Attack strength. Skirmisher. Sets them a lot fire. Improved burning iron. Okay, so that sounds good. We're still paused.
Take me if you can!
Oh, you're down. Right, okay.
Shit, I'm stuck.
So I was like, well, they're all attacking Barik, so that's at least one thing. You drink your berries. Come on, come on. Finish him, go.
How could I miss?
Did you attack in melee? You're in melee. Come on. Alright, well, can't argue if it worked. Okay, your healing potion's up. There you go. You need another healing potion? Right, now.
Counter.
What are you doing? Barik, no! Good.
Got dark all of a sudden.
They're both on pretty low health, so we're just gonna hope we can fight our way through it. Monhas is unconscious. Oh. Come on, come on, come on. Next. No, just taunts. That's all.
I'll do it for the North. Grovel before me!
Oh. Oh. Thanks, comrade. I appreciate the clarification. I like, understand. I prefer to understand when it's not an error I'm making.
Right.
When a lot of people are having difficulty in it, it doesn't feel nearly as bad.
They won't see me coming.
If we're struggling together.
Found something.
Grimdark game. Well, I don't hate that. Sincerely, that's good. It's like when I played Elden Ring, if I died repeatedly and was fighting the same boss for like an hour or more, it's like, well, that's how it goes, man. That's the game. That's what we're doing here.
Can't do that.
That's what you signed up for. It doesn't mean I'm going to lean for that level of challenge every time, but it's a different sort of feeling than, no, dude, you simply don't understand it. Or there's this relatively obvious thing that nearly everyone got right away and you somehow didn't, lol. That one drives me crazy. The Earthshakers moves this boulder with ease. Magic of that magnitude may be crucial for taking Vendry as well. Hi, Hellspar. Ah, Fatebinder. How fortuitous. The Earthshaker pounds his chest in salute. For us, I mean. Decidedly not for the Earthbreakers. A smile quirks the right side of his mouth as he surveys the carnage he had left behind. Whether intended or not, we're indebted for your help. Disfavored. Gain average favor. You're welcome. He spreads his dirt-streaked lips in a relieved grin. May the stones guide your steps, and may you walk without falter on sturdy ground. I need to speak with Commander Ironcore. With tremorous fingers, the Earthshaker pushes his hood back on a sweaty forehead. He glances once at the group of weary, battered mages behind him before meeting your eyes. I'm afraid I'll have to do, as I am the mage in charge of this circle. Earthshaker Hellspar at your service. Where are the rest of you? Was part of your squad killed or otherwise separated? Aye, the Earthbreakers felled Grisander before we could erect the barricade, but our circle alone was all Master Radix could feasibly spare. We're here, and though wayworn, we're ready to help. Wait, what do you mean all he could spare? Did Ash not order your entire guild's return from Azure? With all due respect, Fatebinder, it's not a matter I'd expect you to understand. We absolutely cannot abandon Cairn to the Stone Sea. His nostrils flare out in mild ire. As we've only recently located him or in the process of reconstructing a fort to guard his remains, we could not spare another mage, especially now when the beast tribe that flocked to Cairn in his final days is becoming increasingly territorial and contentious. It's so important about Cairn. Cairn may be dying, but he's not yet lost. There lies the potential to harness an Arkan's power in the Stone Sea, and for that I should think the possibilities are near limitless. He touches a grit-caked knuckle to his lips and clears his throat, but we won't know unless we can run the proper research. And so Radix refused Ash's orders? I am not of a rank to make such sweeping evaluations. The Earthshaker stumbles slightly over his words, but I'd say he interpreted them in his own manner and to the best of his judgment, rather than outright refusing them. He's an Iron Guard, after all. His decisions, though difficult to make as they may be, will certainly embolden our routing at the tiers. Not if your general and his entire army are dead. He chokes, and the Earthbinders behind him gather closer, murmuring in surprise amongst themselves. One of them, a woman with wispy, russet hair, slaps him on the back so hard, shockwaves tremble through you and into the mountains past. What? He gasps for breath. How? Good night, Kate. Would you like a hug? You like a hug?
All in conversation with Grandma and Poppy and Grandma Mary.
Wow.
You call grandparents. You call grandparents? Yeah.
One open the gate.
No open gate, but do you want to cuddle?
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. We'll go to bed and say night night, Daddy.
Night, night, day.
Night, night, baby. I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
See you wake up. He's getting see you when I wake up pretty quick. Cute little guy. Cute little guy. The Overlord has issued an edict of execution. If we don't take the world by Chorus' Day of Swords, everyone here will die, including Ash. Well, clearly Master Radix was unaware of the severity of the situation. He glances worriedly to the other mages in his circle as they all visibly absorb the meaning of everyone here in the Edict's range of affliction. Had we known, assuredly the guild would have come in full force. Regardless, it looks like you're all we've got. Report to Sevius at the disfavored camp. He'll have further orders for you there. With a shaky nod and an even shakier salute, the Earthshaker gathers his circle, and closer together, murmuring or perhaps chanting in hushed voices, the battle mages march toward the valley. Reputation ability unlocked. Stand together.
Can't do that.
Stand tall. Really? Disfavored. All party members near you receive a bonus to resolve. Wow. What does resolve do? Affliction, duration, endurance, will, and magic defense. Great. Everyone's got +2 at the moment. Stand together. Stand tall. I mean, that's good. I'll take it. Absolutely love a free bonus, but jeez. Merciless. 5% hit precision on targets below 35% health. Mobilizing terrifying all enemies. Scarlet skin. Spurting blood. Damage absorption shield. Yeah, that's not bad. Undying Fate Binder. Once per combat, gain a damage absorption shield. Fuck, that sounds great. You should, like... Jesus. Oh. Unnerving presence. That's cool. Get a lot of Wrath of the Vendrian Guard. And like, oh, everyone's unnerved all the time. Nearly break time, eh? Have another quest handy. It is. Echo Call Crossing, taking out a valley, go to the Scarlet Camp, turn to Sevius, explore Echo Call Crossing. Well, we can't go there yet. I think we go all the way back to the disfavored camp. We could go to Echo Call Crossing. You mean do all the side quests as soon as they're available, potentially fighting difficult battles before you're supposed to? Of course, that's me. That's me, baby. That's me all the way. If we got a minute, let's chat to our companions. Hey, Barik. Can I not talk to him yet? I hear the song of battle. We must join it at once.
On it.
Maybe we need to fight here. Keep watch. The enemy may strike again at any moment. It's been equipped. This is a disgrace. The Earthbreakers must be having quite a laugh at our offense. Antio. Back over here. Maintain defensive posture. Winded, the disfavored commander clutches his blood-stained chest piece as he takes a deep breath, gathering his thoughts. His focus is on the scattered wounded men around him. He is yet to notice you. Your plan has been a rousing success. Most of our troops dead, a bridge destroyed, and a Vendrian guard pushes back to where we started. Ladies and gentlemen, the finest the North has to offer. And for your next act, I needed those Furies on point. Don't mock my strategy after working against it. We could have taken them. Ah, fuck. This is plot. I'm going to load. I don't care. More than clearing. 822. That's before we won that fight. We're going to load this one. Saves coming? Yes. So I can do more side quests. Yeah, Battle of Echo Call Crossing. I should have paid attention to that. Jesus. Oh, now I can talk to these fuckers. Couldn't help but notice how you're eyeballing the disfavored symbol littered about the camp. It's hardly a symbol. It's just a scroll. That's true. But it used to be the pride of Graven Ash's Legion before Kairos made them deface it. Well, what happened? Word has it that Ash has been under more scrutiny than the other Archons, seeing as he took a stand against Kairos in the past. Even though he bent the knee in the end, it doesn't place him above suspicion. Kairos and the other Archons keep him on a tight leash. Ash's troops impressed the growing empire, but Kairos made them sacrifice everything they were up to the point Ash surrendered. They've been disfavored ever since, fighting to earn back their honor. Guess that's why I don't cross the Overlord. Kairos holds a grudge from the mean, jealous streak. I have other questions. Come on, then.
What do you need?
We're going to have a break. Be back at 15, everybody. Honk. Tell me something about yourself.
If you insist.
Yeah, if you insist.
I'm a
I'm a
Scarlet
Scarlet
Fury.
Fury.
That should
That should
raise some flags for you.
It means I'm good at
It
killing.
means that I'm good
More
at
importantly.
killing, and
I
more
enjoy
importantly, what I won't
What I
enjoy
won't
are
enjoy
the pleasures of funerary rites packed with weeping mourners.
Weeping mourners. Someday I'll fall in battle
in
and
battle,
they'll roll me
and
into a
then they'll
mass
roll me
grave or
into a
hit me
mass
atop a
grave or heap
shit-stained
me
wagon.
atop a shit-stained
One
wagon.
more anonymous
One
life
more
little piece of
anonymous.
meat.
Until then,
Until then,
I plan to
I'll
take whatever I can from
life.
life
Have a
and
little fun along,
have a little
along
fun
the way.
along the way.
What? Oh, my headphones are off and I didn't actually know she was talking. Seriously didn't know that the game was making any sound at all, and I thought, I'm not hearing the background music. So, sorry. Tell me about your life before the chorus. Life? What life? As far as I'm concerned, it didn't exist before the chorus. There was some girl on a farm wearing my face and talking with my voice, but she wasn't me. See why I thought that the dialogue wasn't voiced? Because look, it isn't now. Sometimes she would sneak out at night, take a scythe, and have some fun with the livestock. Our shared interests began and ended there. When the Scarlet Chorus swept through my village on a long trek from the bastard city, that was when I finally woke up. I buried my old life, took red vengeance on anyone who wronged me. I found the freedom I could only dream was out there. What of your parents? My mother ran a successful farm, and I worked it for a number of years before I found the chorus. She was a hard, bitter woman, acted like the world owed her for something. She never talked about my father, though I figured out a thing or two about him later on. He was a merchant from the Northern Empire who took a liking to her, and she him. He stayed around only long enough to get what he wanted. But never mind him. My mother never had what you would call taste, so he couldn't have been terribly influential to me even if he did stick around. Do you ever wish you could do things over and end up somewhere other than Kyros's army? That's as naive a question as I've ever heard. Kairos is everywhere. If you aren't in the Overlord's army, then you're being trampled by it. Of course, I could have labelled on a family farm into my maturing years, married some dolt and littered him a nursery of squealing piglets, having my body torn to pieces by smaller versions of me. Sounds like fun. Then one day, when I decided enough was enough, I'd slit my husband's throat over breakfast and run off to join the chorus anyway. My way saved a lot of time. First smooths back the feathers in her hair and shakes her head with a smile. You're a killer. Better to stick with the chorus. At least you understand. The chorus praises and rewards a thing inside me that I would suppress in civilized company. Life is too short to repress every desire, right? Especially if I have anything to say about it. How'd you get conscripted? How did I think you have the wrong idea about me. The chorus didn't take me as a sopping maid. I strode into their camp and enlisted. Someone tossed me a dented blade. I lived through initiation, spent a week butchering my neighbors, and moved on with my new kin. I didn't waste time with goodbyes. My mother had long since died, and the rest of my family were louses. The girl I used to be, even she knew that she was worth more than all of them combined. What is the significance of your feathers? We are getting awfully chummy, so I guess you deserve a story. My mother kept a messenger bird. Whitterbeak. Was an angry old bastard spoiled from living the high life. Squawked in my window every single night. Pecked my fingers while I fed him only the fattest, juiciest mice. When I left the farm to join the Scarlet Chorus, I wrung that ungrateful little fucker like a dish rag, plucked his feathers, and gave his carcass to the mice. It felt like justice. She slides a crimson feather from her hair and spins it in her fingers. I also like how the feathers catch the breeze. Helps me keep my balance, especially when I'm moving fast. She slips a feather among the others and smooths it back. Enough about your past. I got more to say? How'd you do that? First looks at you with a quizzical expression. Do what? Back in the Alkin's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How did you do that? Well, I've done it before. You cast the Edict of Fire on the Vellum Citadel. I heard about it, how Kyros's anger raised a volcano from under the sage's own fortress. That was some impressive work. That was me, all right. Well, call me impressed. Considering that you've read the words of Kyros more than once, I'm surprised you're even alive to tell of it. Your vocal cords should have turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just worth recognizing what you've done. Not only are you Tunon's Fatebinder, you're the mouthpiece of the Overlord. Gives me plenty of reason to stick around. You're going places, and I want to see where they lead, if you say so.
What do you need?
I have questions about you. Tell me about your time with the Scarlet Chorus.
The Scarlet Chorus is mostly for madmen and peasants with rusty daggers, but it's also a little niche of freedom that I never had. Once I survived training and met my Scarlet Fury sisters, I saw a different side of the Howling Mob.
Better? Now that I know that line is voiced, I didn't repeat it for you. Tell me about your training.
For new recruits shoved to the front lines, training means surviving the first battle. Anything beyond that is for the fighters who show potential, whether as blade dancers or arcane madmen. There's nothing in the world like getting put through the paces as a Scarlet Fury. Every day is a test of your commitment and passion. Failure means death. The first few weeks were the hardest, but also the most rewarding. I earned my name, picked up some quality weapons, and met my sisters.
Tell me about the Scarlet Furies.
The elite fighters of the Scarlet Chorus. Your typical Horde recruit fights with a rusty spoon and a chip on his shoulder, but the Scarlet Furies are, well, different. We focus our madness. We coordinate, we kill, we dance. It's like art. Imagine a sculpture that twisted in weird, beautiful angles, and then gutted you too fast for you to realize what was happening.
You even hear yourself when you talk?
Oh, fuck you then. I'm not here to dazzle you with my use of metaphor. When it comes to the Scarlet Chorus, you either get it or you don't.
You earned your name? If you think a simple farmer from the Tears would name her child Verse, I suggest you visit my old village. Most of them are walking around with surnames like Barrel or Fish. Not the most creative bunch. She smirks and shakes her head. The chorus takes a name away. Whoever you were before, you weren't that person anymore. And you earn back a name through great deeds, usually murderous ones. That's why you see choirmen walking around with names like Stink Mouse or Face First. There's probably a good reason for it. The voices of Narat gave me this name, and the Scarlet Chorus runs howling to battle. He doesn't hear war, he hears a symphony. And when I fight with blade or bow, he told me that my music stands out louder than anyone else's and contains too many parts to be easily defined. You at least suspect it. The Archon of Secrets can be downright charming. I'm not going to dead name the vicious killer. Tell me about your weapon skills. When I was just a kid, it didn't take me long to realize I was a natural. I could pick up a rusty kitchen knife and skewer a rat from across the room. The Scarlet Chorus gave me opportunities to further educate myself. My sisters were always a bit surprised by how quickly I took to different fighting styles. She frowns for a moment, then shakes off whatever she wanted to say. Back to my questions about the Scarlet Chorus.
What do you need to know?
Before you hesitated when you brought up your fighting styles, why? No loyalty too. Notice that, did you? It's a matter I'm not used to discussing, mostly because I don't know how. I mentioned before that I'm good at picking up different weapons and fighting techniques. The truth is, I'm better than good. I could flay a man so clearly that I'd leave a single strip of skin behind. He wouldn't even need to be tied down. That was one of the first things I discovered about myself after joining the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Narat recognized it in me as well, which is why he singled me out for a Scarlet Fury training. Tried that flame trick before? Let's just say that when we ran out of canvas for pitching tents, the fifth eye handed me a knife and pointed me towards the prison pens. She winks. My sisters were masters of their fighting forms, but since they died, my style has changed, almost like I can kill as they did. I could pick up a bow, a lance, anything really. I could tear someone to pieces with a weapon that I only watched my sisters use. I don't know what it could mean, and that worries me. Who are your sisters? Who were they? Would be more appropriate. 3 Whispers, Red Geyser, and Seeking Sheath. Best fighters I ever met. There wasn't a foe we couldn't take down together. Our fighting styles complemented perfectly, so we divided up the killing work like bards sharing a song. At least we used to. She presents a solemn salute. Tell me about 3 Whispers. She was as calm as the surface of a pond and light on her feet. More than one foe tripped and fell on their own blade due to Whisper's crafty footwork. First lets her gaze slip away from you as a fleeting moment of sorrow steals her attention. Tell me about Red Geyser. A one-woman siege breaker. She would launch herself at her foes like a battering ram. Not even a disfavored phalanx could have withstood that dumb suicidal wench. Kyrus's eyes, but she was something to behold. Burst slams her fist into her palm. Tell me about Seeking Sheath. That girl could pass a spear through 12 rings from the far side of a battlefield. Kyrus helped any foes who approached her, marching single file. She made a game of splitting as many soldiers as possible on the same javelin. What happened to them? We were scouting around Vendrian's world during the siege, back when we only suspected the god of organizing in secret. My sisters and I came upon a group of them. Kairos knows, maybe they found us. No one said anything. We drew iron and bronze. That's when everything went wrong. I was supposed to take point and occupy the guard with a dance of blade work, something disorienting while my sisters picked their marks. I hesitated. I lost my nerve. Instead of rushing the Oathbreakers, I froze with my weapon drawn. My sisters fought on without me, but they were off balance, like whatever I had was catching. They died. I lived. My sisters were relying on me to lead the dance, and I failed them. The action's been excusable for a fighter of your station. You're absolutely right. If I'd witnessed the same in one of my sisters, I might have even killed her for endangering the rest of us. Good thing for me they didn't get the chance. She chuckles, but there's no humor in it. Hesitation is a rot. It's unbecoming of any chorus member, and unheard of in a Scarlet Fury. I would cut it from my body and cauterize the wound if I only knew its source. She grimaces once more and turns inward, contemplating. Any thoughts on the topic, or are we just here to open all wounds? Any idea why you lost your nerve in battle? I wish I had an explanation. For the first time I lost the dance. The song of murder drew silent. Instead, it was only rigid, organized control. That sounds like the security of a phalanx to me. You should practice a more orderly form of combat if it suits you so well. Even if the Scarlet Chorus fought in formation, it wouldn't be anything like your hideous shield wall. She looks at him in disgust. I had more questions about your sisters, nothing more. Questions about Scarlet Chorus.
What do you need to know?
Who are the Scarlet Chorus leaders? Well, the voices of Narad is a spider at the center of the web. He acts like the army belongs to him and he only lends it to Kairos because it suits his purposes. Both of which are true. The rest are all offshoots of the voices, like the Fifth Eye. Once you get down to the rank and file, the Scarlet Chorus organizes around a motley bunch of gang bosses who call the shots. What do you want to know? Tell me about the voices of Narad. He's a madman. But that never stopped me from following his orders. Even as a legion, as cutthroat as a chorus, you know better than to get on the Voice's bad side. People across him, just the people he meets, don't tend to survive the experience. If he ever seems disorganized or lost, it's because he's channeling one of the personalities he's devoured over the years. His mannerisms shift over to someone else, someone who's probably long since dead. Better to die than become part of the Voices. Through powers you can't begin to understand, the Voices of Narat steals the mind and knowledge of his victims. You know, this happened often during the campaign against the Tears. What he gains from this ability, beyond his apparent madness, is anyone's guess. You know better than to ask him about it directly. What makes him so powerful? He's the Archon of Secrets, and he didn't earn that title lightly. People say that he knows more than every sage in the Tears combined, and that he can think 1,000 steps ahead of the other Archons. It would be putting it lightly to say he's never alone under that disapproving helmet of his. If you make secrets your business, I guess having people constantly whisper in your ear is a good thing. I usually want people to shut up, but to each their own. Tell me about the Fifth Eye. A walking nightmare, that one. I couldn't begin to guess who lives under that armor and speaks with that reedy voice, but I'll tell you what I know. When your world is built on secrets, it pays to have a few extra eyes. The Voices of Narat has eyes in abundance. Some that he keeps close and others that he sends out into the wilderness. Whoever the Fifth Eye was before he came into the Archon service, now he's just a half-mad, jabbering speech hole, a bodily function. In other words, an eye. Wait, Narat's eyes are people? Maybe they used to be people. Whatever they were, they're eyes now. Folks like to whisper that the Voices of Narat takes his servants and cuts out all the extra parts that they don't need. She makes a quick snipping gesture with her fingers. I once heard the Voices and the Fifth Eye in tent together. The Voices kept screaming, redundancies, redundancies. Every time another gout of blood would spray on the canvas walls. I can't even guess what he was cutting out. How many eyes does the Archon of Secrets have? The number keeps changing, either because it grows or because rumors don't mean shit. 3, 7, 19. Some even say that all of us are eyes and we don't even know it. She shakes her head in thoughtful disapproval. It's one of those questions that drives you mad if you allow yourself to think about it for too long. You could be one of Tudor's eyes, but you never thought of that. Scarlet Chorus leaders, gang bosses. Boss is anyone who can rally enough support to kill a previous boss. They cling to command until someone gets wise and stabs them in the back. Tipcap leads the filthy lambs. Locks leads the rusted harbs. Sharp used to lead the bone boys. Can't say where he ended up after they broke his legs. Waterwheel orders around the hairy hunters. Walls for shit leads the lazy Malkins. And Scurvy Queen, Fingerfood, and Wild Gash collectively lead the ladies of perpetual strangulation. I'm forgetting at least a dozen more. I've even led a gang or two in my day. They never survive very long. So no point in getting attached. You led a gang? Don't act so surprised. I can crack a whip better than any of those daisies in the disfavored labor camps. But I was never that interested in the power struggle of those grunts and scabs in the middle. I wanted to stand on the top like an apex predator. Here I am. So when I got tired of a gang, I disbanded and let the other bosses fight over the new recruits. That much amused me, at least. Some of my old mates are still alive and hanging around wherever they ended up.
What do you need to know?
There's a lot to learn. Jesus. I have thoughts about your combat abilities.
Do you now? Call me intrigued. You already know that I memorized the moves of my Scarlet Fury sisters. If it seems like a total mystery to me, I don't know how you could have arrived at any conclusions, but I'm open to ideas.
Your talent reminds me of the voices of Norat.
I hope I didn't hear you say that, Fatebinder, because the implication is more than either of us is prepared to handle. The voices of Norat is a monster. We both know that Taratus has never seen a creature more despicable than him. Never mind that he's kind of my boss.
I'm not comparing you to the voices, only this talent you exhibit.
My little talent that latches onto my friends and bleeds them dry, you mean? Because I never asked for it. I've traveled with the chorus for years. I've seen what the voices can do, and it scares me, all right? The idea that everything I am could be reduced to that. If I had that kind of power, if I could become like him, I don't know how I could live with myself. I'd rather drown myself in a camp latrine.
You don't have to become like him. Just be selective.
I'm sure he had the same idea when he got started. But you know what they say about power? It's usually wielded by assholes. My sisters died. Oh, you should have seen us. We were amazing together. I didn't mean to take away what made them special, but I did it all the same. And let me tell you, it felt terrible. If I lived a century, I might never figure out how to make that happen again. And more importantly, I don't want to.
How is it that you picked up your fallen sister's weapon skills? It's been on my mind for some time, and I still don't have an explanation that fits. I have a few ideas, but first frowns and deep thought. I figure you're supposed to do this before the other conversation. Scarlet Furies share a sort of link. It's how we coordinate our dance in the heat of battle. We don't pass messages or anything, but our emotions and intentions sync up without words. She starts worrying one of her knives. After a moment, she sighs and slaps the blade back into its sheath. Go on. The one thing I always knew that I felt this connection more keenly than my sisters did. I could pick up nuances that they missed, and I could feel them from farther away. When my sisters died, I felt each of them getting yanked down on my brain like someone pulling snails from a garden, but some of their slime residue is still there. Does that make any sense? I would take comfort in that. The sisters live on in you. Your optimism is cute, Fatebinder, if singularly useless. It won't bring my sisters back, and it doesn't fix this thing in my head that I don't understand. No matter how you paint it, some of my sisters broke off in me when they died, and now I'm left to deal with it. Just another day in the tears, right? What are your thoughts on the disfavored? A warren of self-entitled children so wound up in delusions of honor that they're likely to hang themselves by their own high standards. I wish it'd stay in the Northern Empire where they belonged. Then we could get some real work done in their tears. What do you think of their leader, Graven Ash? I've seen enough of that high-minded braggart to know he's all duty, nothing but a charismatic, broad-shouldered scarecrow. He calls himself the Archon of War. But by the way he stalls his forces waiting for a better strategy to present itself, you would think he's afraid of battle. Watch your words. I would not hear you were talking of the Archon this way. A growl ripples through Barik's armor, accompanied by sounds of bending metal. Was I even talking to you, Junkyard? And no, I will not. You would think that someone more deserving would take Ash's mantle from him, but the disfavored had this cult of personality built around their great general. In their eyes, he could do no wrong. What about Ash's connection to his troops? Graven Ash protects. His soldiers keep harping on those words like they mean something. I don't deny that the disfavored can take a few extra lumps on the battlefield, but that only speaks to their thick-headedness. If anything, it's only true because his soldiers place that much trust in it. I've seen the power of suggestion do stranger things to people. Could that be possible? We're talking about a man who's centuries old and wears glowing armor. You tell me. Who would you see take Ash's place? I would rather let the disfavored sort it out amongst themselves. Graven Ash is this aging figurehead of what should be a constantly changing role. The right soldier needs to grow a pair and kill the old man. Kick his cane out from under him. Remind the Legion what strength looks like. The voices in the rat changes. He's a multifaceted gem. The Scarlet Chorus is a reflection of that beauty. If someone could rise up and strike down the voices, any of us would follow them in a heartbeat. I suppose you have a better idea how to handle the disfavored forces? Of course I do. First, let's stop babying the troops. Pain is a lesson best learned early. I'd conscript from the locals to bolster their front lines, because why waste your elite on the vanguard? Then I'd leave any misplaced ethics back in the Northern Empire. They're not helping Kyrus' campaign anyway. So fuck them. You take away everything that makes them strong. It's a damn fine alternative from where I'm standing. If all that strength couldn't end a siege, what good is it to anyone? Would that be so wrong? The chorus is accountable for itself in ways that the disfavored aren't. Our weak die in a strong fight to keep their rank. It is favored to promote their waning bloodline and discipline any soldier with the audacity to show their teeth. Though they'd never admit it, the disfavored need the chorus to show them the way. Do you think the disfavored has a chance to succeed in the tiers? Speaking as one of the exceptions, most of the tiersmen are pushovers. The people of Stalwart's incapable enough, though I have my doubts. You might call them the disfavored's best challenge. Even if they succeeded, it might be too late to redeem themselves. The chorus have already impacted the conquest more than the disfavored have, or likely ever will. And how many thousands of Guaymen did your victories cost you along the way? Barik clears his throat, the grating sound echoing in his helmet. As many as it took, Junkheap. What are your thoughts on their battle strategies? I've really got something with that phalanx maneuver. A formation built on holding still, moving forward slowly and hoping that no one slips in the mud. At best, it is favored are tired of using the same tactic over and over again. At worst, the enemy knows what to expect out of them. Scarlet Furies are dancers. We hear the music of battle and organize ourselves into works of killing art. Every fight is as hot and passionate as the last, with no room for stale routine. You speak of routine and discipline like as if they were weaknesses. The shield wall keeps soldiers alive. Chorus recruits fly to their deaths like moths to a candle flame. To burn out while covered in the blood of your enemies is more honorable than the slow march to a dignified retirement. Would you rather feel the bite of a spear while hewing an axe through your enemy's skull, or the clench of your heart's betrayal while you sit up in bed, aged and alone? In the shadowy depth of his armor, Barik makes no sound. Doesn't even appear to be breathing. Or what do you think of those who defy Kyrus' authority? Tiersmen can either fight or submit to Kyrus' peace, and only one of those options captures my interest. I suppose I appreciate them when they go down fighting. If they did otherwise, I would need to find another excuse to flay them. They need to understand, whether we unify the tiers under a shared banner or at the bottom of a mass grave makes little difference to you, me, or Kyrus. It's an interesting view of the conquest. It's a pragmatic one, anyway. The Scarlet Chorus caught on to the idea at the beginning of the campaign. If no one objects that we're here to carve a bloody path for gain and amusement, then by all accounts, that is our purpose. Besides, unification is such a vague concept that Kyrus allows the disfavored and the chorus to interpret it as they will. The Overlord is concerned with results. I'm happy to focus on the details, especially if that means cutting off a farmer's legs while his family watches their land burn. She smiles at a pleasing memory. You're disgusting. If you understood how a Scarlet Fury makes art of death, you might not think so. Keep an open mind. You might enjoy the things I show you. Your words don't faze her in the slightest. She only nods, the suspicion confirmed. Did you fight at any notable battles? I spent some time in Azure toward the end of the war. Beastmen ripped my unit apart. We thought they might be working under Khan's orders, but we never found out for sure. You learned a thing or two about fighting in the Scarlet Chorus. Care to duel?
That would be an understatement, and I thought you'd never ask. Since you're obviously at a huge disadvantage, I'll let you pick our weapon of choice.
Let's try dual wielding knives.
Exotic. Good choice. I'll leave you to guess which one is my dominant hand.
Verse slashes and parries with unrestrained ferocity. At times it becomes difficult to follow her movements. After taking more than a few cuts, you learn to relax her eyes and better follow the subtle motion of her dance.
You held your own. Call me impressed. Need anything else, or did I tire you out?
I want to ask about her travels.
What did you have in mind?
What do you think about present circumstances? Well, there's an edict hanging over our heads. As far as I'm concerned, the incompetence that has favored got us into this mess, and it will take the fury of the Scarlet Chorus to get us out of it. In other words, nothing ever changes. What do you think of our travel companions? Anyone in particular? Barik. He's, well... I'll give him some due credit. He's more complicated than he looks. He's still an intolerant and He's still an intolerant and unapologetic bastard, but that's more than his business than mine. Whew. We've exhausted dialogue. Hey, look, we got a fear ability with her. Because she feared 3, which is funny, given, well, we're still nearly at 4, which is pretty good. Okay, cool. And that means we have Fury's Rage. Breathing flames around her. Nice. Oof, okay, sorry, that was a lot. We'll do another companion catch-up with Barik really, really soon. I'm going to go do Scarlet Chorus Camp and turn in this side quest first. Minimap. Chat log. Combat log. Hey, health bar. You made it. Sidious. With all due respect, our cohorts have proven themselves against these Apex fools time and time again. What can your Earthshakers do other than get in the way? I don't want to be here, Sidious. And my orders don't involve proving our value to you. If the Great General doesn't want magic on his side, he can order us to stand down and sit this one out. I don't question what your mages bring... Oh, it's Iron Marshal. I don't question what your mages bring to the table, Hellspar, but I have my reservations about your leaders. Why couldn't Radix show up to the siege himself? If he has more pressing issues than the state of the conquest, I should like to hear about it from his mouth. If Radix is not inclined to help, maybe a next of kin might take his place. Emerald Pin, favored, disfavored. I hate to upset the chain of command during a time of war. Perhaps Radix's brother can convince him to remember his duty, Fatebinder. I thank you for the part you played. You didn't have to risk yourself, but you did so all the same. Let's check our reinforcements complete.
Good thing I keep a torsion wrench handy.
Slightly increases in strength? Don't mind if I do. No, it is not high enough for that. Whoop. Oh, fuck. Watch this. Three skill rigs? Why would I do anything else? We now have 37 subterfuge.
Good thing I keep a torsion wrench handy.
Ooh.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Can't do that. Torchbound Iron. Echo Call Crossing. But we go talk to the fifth eye first. It may of course be 5th of 12, 39. Who knows? Do, 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 do. Subterfuge can be used to bluff or diseased. Or deceive. Yeah, yes please. Quiet Shiv and Shivershank.
Sorry, I can't.
Free rusted iron sword. A rotting body bearing Scarlet Chorus war paint is skewered upon a wooden pike. Take another step, I'll pin your foot to the dirt. This is ridiculous. We have bigger problems here. It proves everything. The warrior slams her fists together in a resounding clap. Like, for existence, whether you're fit to lead that flock of children. Behind her, the members of their gang posture with weapons held at the ready. Did you not hear the news of the Edict? This is a foolish distraction. We ought to be saving our fight with the enemy. The chorus warrior looks to his gang, giving them all a quick nod. He's right. The Edict will kill us all if Ascension Hall is not taken soon. Well, until Fifth Eye starts the mustering chant, we ain't got nowhere to be. She gestures to the gang across from her. So now's our chance if we want to have it out before things get serious. What's the problem here? No problem here, Lord Binder. She tosses her blade in the air, catching it with a smile on the way down. Captain Fuckwit here seems he's about to balk from this challenge. Thinks just because he used to run a ship, he's qualified to run a gang. She spits on the ground, following up with a scowl. So I'm calling him out, because the way I see it, his warriors ought to follow me, not this new blood. Captain Fuckwit was my father. Fuckwit will do just fine. The warrior points at the opposing gang. If we have to prove our strength, we'll do so happily, but I'll have your hands and feet removed and the rest of you kept for my own use. Allow me to join you. I enjoy a good bloodbath. A sharp, vicious grin cuts across her face. Be my guest. I've always wanted to see your fate binder in action. He falls pointedly quiet, but finally shrugs one shoulder, seemingly smart enough not to protest. Prepare yourselves. I'll be defending Shivershank. Actually, no. Let's fight for Quiet Shiv. He glances to you, nervously clutching for his blade. She laughs, arrogant and eager to show you her skill. Got him, then. I'll guard your back with my blade. She tosses her knife from one hand to the next and lunges for Shivershank without further warning.
The trouble is a fight.
Okay, so we started standing right fucking next to him, so that's a fun... Oh, you nearly cool down? 2 seconds left? Jeez. You've got so low health that... The range on this is so tiny, I can't hit more than one person ever. Sap, might, and vitality, eh? Do that. Hello, all of you attack me, please. Fury's Rage. Oh, it's a team up attack. Forgot that.
Oh, now I...
Weaken. Now, double hand attack. You're in melee. Battle stance. Dodge. Seeking sheath.
Right.
Well, these are chorus grounds. State your business. Past this point is chorus territory. You don't look like someone's conscript. I'll show you in the right place. I am always in the right place. Guard tenses up, locking eyes with you. That walking hunk of rust. What's he, she, maybe it? How about they doing here? Step in close, push her down. Let's gain loyalty with Barik. Yeah. Then allied warrior in my guard. You don't want to make it. No, fuck it. I want loyalty with Barik. Oh, just come on in. I'm sure the Free will gut you if you're really a problem. The guard half-heartedly waves at you in as she nods to those.
I'll
That's some
stay
level of bravado
downwind of our
and
enemies.
say something like, Scroll. Scroll sits here, glowing with mystical energy. Spell core, illusion. Emerald pin. Regenerating? Holy shit, yes fucking please. I need haste on her more than anything. Sigh. The binder of tuning arrives. Sorry, squealing with teenager's timber, the fifth eye voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel the need of a trim. The binder of tuning arrives. Just finished having a bit of sport with some captives. But worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Dressed in the bronze-red regalia of the Crimson Spears, the fifth eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-splattered gum. It is a distinct pleasure to see you again, Firestarter. No doubt, I and my gang might not have lived to see this day had you not taken charge of that disastrous assault on the Vellum Citadel. He jabs a finger towards you for emphasis. You made a wise trade. A few disfavored lives for hundreds of Guiremen. Kairos would approve. Now that you have issued your edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chaps of laughter emanate from under his mask. Adjust you are getting your warriors ready for battle. We know the Earthbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain's fire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. The fifth eye wags a hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Oh, given their pattern of attack, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the Outer Valley. And unless we deal with the second group, they'll attack from behind the moment we cross the river. You have how large a force, and for all these weeks you've let the enemy move freely through the valley? I'm hurt. Insult my manners or maturity, but do not insinuate that I sit idle when there's blood to be shed. The Crimson Spear claps his fists together. We have dealt with countless Oathbreakers, but one group remains at large despite our best efforts. Captain Pellox's crew consistently evades or kills our own gangs. So you need help taking out these Oathbreakers? And while a good old-fashioned slaughter would be an efficient solution, the smarter answer is not to kill them, but to add their strength to ours. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Venturing Guard's secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this warrior kill. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Earthbreakers, we could try and take their captain and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. I don't belong to Archon Merit. What's my help with? You wound me, Faebinder. The fifth eye places his hand over his chest, feigning the start of a swoon. And I thought the joy of working for the illustrious Archon of Secrets would be reward enough. But you'd need to be missing half your head to think an expert works for free. Tell me, what will make this worth your while? Faithful service is reward enough, so long as my efforts are recognized. The opinions of others matter that much to you, and far be it from me to argue. It would be my pleasure to speak of your charitable deeds at great length. I'll even be sure to tell Tunan what a noble ally you've been. I will speak with the prisoner. I will meet you there. She is waiting by the other prisoners.
You didn't see nothing.
Snigler. Upon noticing your approach, the merchant straightens his posture and smiles. What an honor! The name is Snigler Dagos. Originally from the relative tranquility of the Northern Empire, I've since exhibited a nomadic life for the sake of keeping Kairos' forces supplied with only the finest goods, local and imported. He winces a little. It's not much, but let me know if you see anything that piques your interest. You got a free Ripper. Ripper. One-handed Antorin. I'm sorry. Look at all this. What do you mean, not much? I've got 16 bronze rings. I'll take your entire fucking stock, please. And I will trade you all of this bullshit. Bullshit. Probably fine. Five rings and 20 going in their direction. Whatever, it's fine. Fire ice toad. Sigil fire. Plus 10 to control fire. Amazing. We don't have enough to purchase it. Scroll bigger. Unspent tribute points. Probably because we leveled up by learning a lot of lore skill. Jeez. Spell strength. Magic defense. Cool, but attack and ability strength. I keep running into melee. Maybe I should commit to being entirely looking at magic stuff. Maybe not. Support skills. Control atrophy, control lightning. I don't have control fire at all. Based off those, so resolve was good. Spell strength, magic defense. I mean, can't hurt, right? Magic. Bonus to lore. Done. I know it's boring. I don't care. Thrust attacks. Breach affliction. Charge of magic stuff. Well, we don't do that. We don't do that either. Additional spell slots. Yeah, we love that too. Okay. Fuck, man. Flurry of blows. Slice. What's leadership do? Because we're level 3 now. We can actually take it. Bandolier. 2 additional quick item slots and consumables. Consumables are more effective. 1 additional weapon sets. Macy's full. Remove a hump. Regenerate an aura. Oh. Just an aura in general. Jeez. I'm dying. I mean, it's pretty good. We'll have to do that soon. Good job, Monhas.
You learn something every day.
You sure do. These threadbare tents show signs of hard use and long-term exposure to the elements. Small marks have been painted onto this corpse, marking certain body parts as more difficult targets than the other. Hey, there's a dog! The dog looks up at you and whimpers. Get this dog a snack, how dare you? Reg. Baz. Bazaar. Well, look who we have here. Showing on some manner of cud, a heavy-set soldier flings spittle and crumbs as she talks. The fate behind her finally shows herself. I'm Reg, the second soldier chimes in. This is Baz. We were wondering when you might pay the camp a visit. Fifth Eye has been a little starved for attention. He ordered us to watch you like a troublesome babe, making sure you don't get out of line. Baz knits her fingers together, joints crackling as she smiles. Reg clears his throat loudly, scowling at Baz. Yeah, something like that. So if you have questions, ask us. Good luck finding anyone in camp who will give you answers or even a smile. So what can we do for you? Tell me about yourself, Baz. I was a sellsword at Beck and Call Fat Merchants, just another dented face in the crowd. After too many years of spilling blood and local skirmishes, I realized I was on the killing time. And Kairos showed me a better way. Unity, purpose, now fight for something, not just someone. Been watching the Scarlet Furies practicing blade work. Not good enough to join him yet, but I bet I could show you a thing or two. Tell me about yourself, Reg. He scratches at the back of his head and lost words. I had a family, a farm, and the chorus came, and, well, now I have the chorus. Priorities change when you hear screams in the night and feel a blade pressed to your neck. Things like farms or families don't seem as important. I used to have nightmares thinking about the culling. Felt awful remembering how I hacked my mom and dad to bits just so I could survive. The culling. This is awful, by the way. When Scarlet Chorus conscripts a village, they hold a ceremony known as the culling. Every able-bodied man, woman, and child is given a weapon and forced to fight their family and friends to the death. Those who survive are deemed strong enough and free from old ties to join the army of the Voices of Norat. Reg's eyes, shadowed for a moment with sorrow, take on a feverish gleam. The Fifth Eye heard me howling one night, pulled me out of the horde and took an interest in me. Now I'm studying magic, calling fire from nothing. My mom and dad could see me now. They'd be so proud. Tell me about your time in the Scarlet Chorus. Reg and I were conscripted at the Gates of Judgment. You used to fight for Ocken, me for Azure. Baz chuckled, sketching her chin in thought. How many fights we survived so far? 11? Rag begins to count in series across his fingers. No, 14. I count each day in Sunder separately. The choruses. Baz looks about the camp and shrugs. Not as bad as it smells. They're strong, like me and Reg. We're allowed to take what we want, what we deserve. We live only as well as our strength affords us, as it should be. What can you tell me about Fifth Eye? Reg trades an uncomfortable glance with Baz and lowers his voice to a whisper. They say he shares a direct link with the voices of Narat. Guard your tongue around him. He's a little wild, bloodthirsty, mad. Baz thinks for a moment. Brilliant. Reg flinches and glances over his shoulder. I was going to say eccentric. The chorus isn't picky about who joins the rank, so you can expect to find some unusual types. Most are as likely to kill you as promote you. What do you know about Vendrian's Well? The walls might seem imposing, but the Vendrian Guard do a better job of hiding its weaknesses and fixing them. She shrugs. We took the Citadel once before, we can take it again. We have to, don't we? Reg looks up at the imposing tower of the spire. The Kairos knows I don't want to stay any longer than necessary. She follows his gaze and shakes her head. You should know better than to parade your cowardice before the Fate Binder. It's not cowardice, it's just superstition. Are you afraid of the spire? Sorry, Fate Binder, I shouldn't have mentioned anything. He sighs. The fact of the matter is we were taught to stay away from spires and old walls ever since we were babes, but of all the dumb childhood lessons that fell by the wayside, that one stayed the same. Imagine a soldier of the cores pissing himself over architecture. More like what's underneath it, Reg flounced. The Bane lurk around these old sites and kill anything they catch unawares. I have no wish to meet the Bane in combat, unless there are 100 blood chanters in the back. She twists her lip into a frown as she considers this. Me either, I suppose. Training. Baz, what can you teach me? The stance, Binder. Neat. Dual wield. They're all locked out. Baz welcomes you with a grin of cracked teeth. Welcome back, Fate Binder. We hear you've been doing some good work for the cause. A cause? High time that someone put the disfavored in their place. Cause can always use grit. Reg, show me what the Fifth Eye's been teaching you. We'll make this valley burn. I mean, did you see this? Subterfuge. Law. I want both of those. Damn it. Law. Big nerd. We made it completely clear. We do this all the time. There we go.
Sorry, I can't.
Fuck. The stench of piss and fecal matter emanate from this tent, one clearly not used for rest. That's gross, Scarlet Chorus. Jeez. The spears are brittle.
Sorry, I can't.
Quiet Shiv. How you doing, Quiet Shiv? What are you looking at? Alright, fine. Thought we were buddies, but I guess not. I thought we had enough subterfuge.
No dice.
So sad. Barik is almost level 3 as well. I fucking hope so, right?
Have a look here.
Our time together has not gone to waste.
That's what leveled you up? Alright, buddy. Wits, finesse, vitality. You need more health. I keep telling you to tank. Punisher, Sentinel. Great. Start of combat, boosted movement speed. That's pretty good. Clash of Iron, he will attack twice with normal strike. Now that's good. Engage additional enemy. Taunt a whole bunch of people. Many of them won't be able to run away. That's perfect. Sigil of Illusion, Frost, Lightning, Atrophy. Got a Sigil of Vigor now. Oh, can be highly addictive to weaker minds. Expressions. Channeled Strength. Cone. Rooted have random beneficial effects removed. Incredible. He's got 65 more now too. Increased accuracy is not bad. Increase effects. 60. Range. Area of effect. Duration. Let's do this. Assign. Oh. Cerberus. Hail, fate bind to fortune. The disfavored officer pounds a heavy gauntlet against his chest in a stiff but warm greeting. Were I betting on superstitious man, I'd say fortune must favor me today. I'm not. But I'm pleased to meet you all the same. Now what brings you to my little slice of personal damnation, otherwise known as... He spreads his thickly gloved hands wide. This here mud and shit-stinking Gore's camp. Is there anything you'd like to report, soldier? Maybe you've noticed something unusual during your time here? He cants his head to one side, taken aback. What about the chorus isn't unusual? The army itself is a strange, malnourished beast. But no, the screamers seem mostly in order, sir. As if, and I haven't been spying, if that's what you're implying, sir. Still as a post, he studies you sharply, scarcely appearing to breathe. Of course, even if I was, it'd be damn near impossible to learn anything from this shit sty. Fifth Eye and his damn furies don't even look me in enough to do my detail. And it's not for lack of trying on my part. Right, because you seem easy to work with. He guffaws, loud and bemused. Aren't I? Iron Marshal always said I was too soft when it came to incomers on account of me being such a good-natured fellow. In fact, you should tell Death Knell that. Maybe she'll stop hiding troop movements from me or passing me enemy intelligence she thinks will get me killed. Why are you stationed at the chorus? From the way most of my days go, you'd think I was here to row with Bloodchanters and Scarlet Furies. But my post is to represent the disfavored interests before Fifth Eye and Scarlet Choruses, for Iron Marshal Erinios. Not that I've gotten to do with them so much as the last span. What do you think of the Scarlet Chorus? They're rabid dogs. The lot of them. Ever seen a screamer racing headlong into battle like a hound chasing a winter hare? I have. I can tell you more often than not. It's the screamer who ends up skinned and gutted. Leave the campaign to the chaos that's the chorus. We're doomed. Are you stationed with them? Have they been cooperative? No one tells me anything. They lack honor, all honor and discipline. Don't think they could cooperate, even if it's what they actually wanted. Grunts. Guess I shouldn't be surprised, considering they serve the Archon of Secrets. You could speak ill of one of Gyros' generals. No, you must know I meant no disrespect to the Overlord, sir. He shifts beneath the weight of his armor uncomfortably. Besides, only dumb shit or dying man would insult the voices in his own camp, and I don't intend to be either. You sound frustrated. I am. He tips his helm back enough to spit at the ground. Try having to fist fuck every Fury who wants to talk to you. And that's after I try to talk them down. It's a Kairos damn mess. Act like it's a punishment to be assigned to this detail. Isn't it? I know I fucked up to get here. Got 3 days in the hole and a nice little promotion to go with my new post. Well, I won't be making the same mistake twice when it comes to the Iron Marshal. He juts his chin toward the distant valley. I should be out there, fighting for Asher's glory, not standing here ready to run back a report should something ever finally fucking happen. What exactly did you do to end up here? Made the grave mistake of suggesting the Iron Marshal wasn't fully utilizing the Scarlet Chorus. Well, here I am. A liaison's officer to a camp of liars and cheats who'd sooner gut me than ask for my aid. Guess she showed me. Our lives are at risk, and even then you can't get along with the chorus. Begging your pardon, sir, but I've never fought a battle all my life wasn't on the line. He shrugs. Kind of the nature of war, wasn't it? Isn't it? Like, that guy's mad, sure, but a bit of a dick, too. Most of these provisions are withered with rot. His barrel was full of murky red water. Severed libs bob under the greasy soup skin. Battle plans are scribbled over a blood-stained map of the tiers. Arrows point towards the inner ring of Vandrian's well, and small circles are drawn around the citadel. Hey, free poison. Chug-a-lug. Oh, let's deal with Soraya. Let the old mage speak. Please, someone. I wish to bow before the voices of Narat. I thought all could find redemption in the chorus. A woman in the makeshift armor of the Vandrian Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest she has been forced to stand for days. This one, He flippantly waves at the prisoner. Was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Venturing Guard encampment, but she isn't being entirely honest. I told this thing. The prisoner turns pale a moment before a look of determination comes over her face. That I wanted a guarantee I'd live and be welcomed into the chorus as a captain. Then I'd talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Venturing Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. Why should I trust the words of an oathbreaker? I suppose I have no answer for that. Faraya's eyes fall to the ground and she swallows nervously. When I joined with the Venturing Guard, I'd accepted a broken vow unto myself. Have you not felt a passion for a foolish cause? When you came later to regret? Well, my surrender is sincere, and I'm willing to bow before the voices of Norat to prove it. You claim you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why the change of heart? Because I want to live, and you don't need to be the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinks several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength of the tears, and I would rather stand with these Archons and be crushed by them. Tell me what you know. I can see to your release. I heard the chorus is looking for Captain Pelox Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at the skewered and smoldering corpses around her. She tugs at her restraint, but to no avail. You're lying. Why don't you tell me what you actually know, and I'll see about saving you. Oh, you see? Shaken by your demand, her lips move wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I can tell you... She shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points with her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew. He had the orders. With the snap of his fingers, a pair of Kaimen yanked the boot off the fallen guardsman. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into the fifth eye's hands. He unfurls the scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense. Just a mash of words. Laughter erupts from under the mask. She said she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. He snaps his fingers at a nearby Scarlet Fury, who promptly snatches a long knife from her belt. I heard her say she'd swear fealty to the voices of Norat. An initiation rite would be in order. Seeing as you're an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What then would you propose we do with her? Let's test her loyalty. Varya, kill these guardsmen with something blunt. Varya looks at the onlookers, prisoners, once her allies, closes her eyes as her bonds are untied. The onlookers snicker and cheer when a heavy rock is placed in her hand. Mouthing something inaudible, she lifts the rock high above her head and smashes it down upon the prisoner's skull. Wincing back a scream as she hoists the stone over her head a second time to finish the job on the other prisoner. The bloody rock hits the ground and Varya slumps to her knees in defeat a moment later. Comrade was right. He said this game's grimdark. Good. Fifth Eye places his bloodied hand on the trembling woman's shoulder and nods to her. Welcome to the Scarlet Chorus. Do not fail us. As a pair of soldiers come to lift Varya, the Fifth Eye turns to you, his voice filled with glee. Where's a slave to clean up the offal when you need it? Fucking suck, man. Jesus. We're no closer to finding Earthbreaker's position, not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers and all she gave us was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Varya. An elder gentleman with their quills, ink vials, and parchment scrolls one finds on the sages of the school of the ink and quill. Ink smudges cover his cheeks, temple, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the rips of fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. Who are you?
I'm Sage Lantry, one of the hired quills that was coordinating missives between the Vendrian Guard captains. They aren't paying me anymore and aren't coming to my rescue. So I'll decipher that parchment for you. That's what smart prisoners do, right? Make themselves useful?
Law. On hired quills. Running a household or army requires a great deal of logistical know-how, and it helps to be literate and capable of maintaining your own records and ledgers. Most leaders employ assistants, known as hired quills, to log harvests, schedule payments, and balance payrolls, and dictate letters to friends and rivals. Can you read this?
Well, let me see. I can't.
You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words a second time, nodding in silence.
So, I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
A few hours? Either you can read it or you cannot. What use is a sage who doesn't know his letters? I've heard all they need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. It can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This addled old bag is just trying to stall us. Untie him and give him a chance to translate. Are you giving me orders, Binder? Does this look like Tunan's court? Last I checked, only the Archon of Secrets can tell me what to do with a prisoner. The Crimson Spear pounds his staff on the ground. If this old man wants freedom, we shall give him his fair shot at a trial.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Fine, but I'll be his champion. This one needs to live.
Good. I like it when Tunan's puppies get their paws dirty.
I wouldn't mind taking a swing at some loudmouth chorus braggarts myself.
Did you hear that, my brothers and sisters? He raising his arms to the sky. The fifth eye roars for all nearby to hear. Trial by combat is upon us. The sage is unbound from the post. Stiff legs nearly buckle as he attempts to walk, and his arms flex and flail in the new freedom. Wiping grime and sweat from his brow, the sage steps close to you with a nervous smile. Rhythmic roaring and the stomping of hundreds of feet in unison flood the camp. Hordsmen begin to circle and dance, swirl about, brandishing weapons and cheering. If they got this worked up to fight the enemy, eventually the war would be over by now. Begin the chant of gathering. Let the warriors know that tonight's entertainment will soon commence. My God. Brother, these guys suck. Brothers and sisters, who amongst you sets the standard for strength? Who amongst you will help winnow the weak from the strong? The fifth eye waves his hands in the air, drawing in a gathering of chorus soldiers. Our claimants have been assembled. Now let the trial of the Oathbreaker begin.
Send them at me as...
Hi, Lantry. You're in my party already. I wonder if you would have been particularly useful in, say, a fucking difficult fight I had earlier? Observation. Oh my God. Increases damage on weapons armor. Oh my God. Improves control life skill. Bonus to... Perhaps this renewal getting even greater increase of weapon. Hey, look. You straight up don't need any of your damaging skills. Even Lawmaster. Moderately improves law skill. Lovely. You know what you're getting instead? Healing. Lots of it. Restoring touch. Keeps starting with heal. Titan's touch. Surge of greatness, mind, vitality. Cause we don't have... Spectral blur. Oh, we're in combat, so we can't do anything with it? Fair enough. Greater renewal. Boop! First thing we're doing is getting all of our stuff increased. Second thing we're doing is taunting all of these fuckers. Everyone but the range target. Hey, buddy.
Iron!
Take that!
AI. Pen party. Party support. Done. Buffs? Oh my god.
On your knees, worm!
Buffs? We're unstoppable now. By the righteous shedding of blood, we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the sage is worthy of living a camp alive. The fifth eye offers a short mocking bow to Lantry. By the customs set forth in the voices of Narat, you are free to go, old man. Brag to your grandkids that you fell afoul of the chorus, yet live to tell the story. Are you hurt? Not in any lasting capacity. I'm jostled, but fine. Now I believe I have a parchment to translate, lest I anger the powers that be. Buffs? Heals? My god, we're unstoppable. We're unstoppable. Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I can make out the important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting spot west of Tripnell. Tripnell Wilderness is now marked on the world map. So the old sage knows his words after all. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get his Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at first sight of chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the face they see. I know the area. And I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. You're offering to come along with me? Why? Because the alternative is what? Living here with these illiterate brutes? My old study is under a river of fire, and there's no family missing me. Besides, I'd rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. Be a fool to let someone else write your story. Something's amiss. There's a lot of fight in you for an old scholar. Now you're offering to join this expedition. I've met sages every bit as cutthroat as hardened gang bosses. They act the part of doddering scribes, but don't let that fool you. Smart for someone your age to be so mistrusting. But I'm not with the Oathbreakers, if that's what you're fishing at. I worked for them under duress, but I've no love of them. I'm not about to pledge to the chorus, and the disfavored wouldn't have me. Still, I consider myself a Kairos fearing vassal of the Overlord's empire rules. For as long as I've been a sage, I've been trained to defend myself. We don't spend all our time binding books and sketching wildlife. Just most of it. For centuries, we've been in a quiet war with the School of Tides and the School of Wild Wrath. You can't travel alone as much as I do and not know the bronze dance. You won't be a parchment weight during a fight. Good to know. Oh no, I'd like to think I'm worth at least 3 or 4 angry peasants in a fight. You want to chronicle me? Well, of course. Even if the burning library is never rebuilt, our work to chronicle the days and events needn't cease. You're a noteworthy player in this whole war. I can't think of another living fate-binder that has been twice given the honor of proclamation. Fine. If you are so eager, come with me. Splendid. You won't be disappointed. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly and how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way, and let me know if I can be of service. We done here? Let's hightail it to Tripnell. If your new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears.
Just point me in the right direction.
Received a missive from Tunan. The will of Karis. Monhas, perhaps a continued and faithful service shall remind the Archons of their duties to the Overlord. One can hope. May fortune in favor your endeavor. Tunan the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. I'm again saying, you mean I could have had an additional party member if I didn't rush off to do a side quest immediately? Good. And it's even on the fucking way, man. This is my own fault. No one else should take responsibility for it, but come on. I'm aware it's very close to end time. Let's just see what's about to happen here, huh? Fake lip. Reinforcements. Finally, come this way. We need to. The chorus warrior pumps his tattooed arm in salute. Midway through the gesture, a look of confusion dawns across his painted face. Sisterverse. What did I do to deserve such a helping hand? A chuckle escapes the man before he shudders, placing a hand over his mouth. But once alert of the need to remain quiet, his voice drops to a harsh whisper. The fifth eye has a sense of humor sending you. First returns a cold glare, but says nothing. You two know each other? This one used to run with my pack. Until he left for... This one used to run with my pack until he left for Death Nail's gang. Motherless swine didn't even have the guts to fight me for the right to leave. He just packed up and left with his coward's tail between his fat legs. And a wise move at that. How many have you lost in your command so far? He holds up a hand, stifling a smile. I misspoke. I'm sure you only got most of them killed. Can't rule out death by their own incompetence. Seems Deathnail didn't take my advice and have you gilded to curb your outbursts. First rolls her blades in a fluid motion. If you want to fight him, I've got your back, but we do have a mission here. Another time, then. Fake limp, get comfortable with the idea of a knife in your belly. It'll come from me as likely as not. First sniffs and returns her weapons to her belt. Just tugging your chain for old time's sake. You always were happy when you had a nemesis out in the world, eh? The camp is just yonder, he points to the northeast, and we've kept an eye on them for the last couple of days. Some of them might have left a few hours ago looking for food, maybe out on patrol, but they haven't returned yet. Might be wise to strike now while they're divided. How'd you find this place? Happy accident of sorts. He points east toward the mountains. We were up in the mountains with orders to keep the Earthbreakers in and keep any would-be allies out of the valley. Strangest thing happens. Tremor hits the pass, and tremors lasted a bit, so I figured they were magical. But there weren't no sign of Earthshakers in nobody. That was Kyros's magic sealing the valley. Actually, no, really, how'd you find this place? Nobody else in the chorus knew where this camp was. Sidebrows rise up. I'm not sure what you're playing at. I don't like your tone. We orders to watch over the mountains east of you, and I found this spot on our trek back to camp. What can I say? I answer the Archon of Secrets. I don't get told a lot of details, but I sure see a lot of coincidence. What's your plan now? I lost 2 of my gang in the mountains, and we've been on half rations for days, so until we get a much larger contingent, we're not likely to win any fight we start. Now that you're here, I figure my gang will hold back and keep an eye out for trouble, maybe swoop in if things get messy. I can handle this. No need to push your warriors past their limits. Smiling broadly, he claps his hands in approval. Kairos would applaud your bravery. My gang and I will lurk nearby. When you make your move, we'll descend and help with capturing Florian. Don't worry, I'll let the others know you did the heavy lifting. I'll cheat at battle, but not with my reputation.
Interesting.
Trouble is afoot.
You can't just auto-attack your way through everything.
Smash to pieces!
Seeing an awful lot of red.
Harsh words would cause more harm than this useless...
The heals Fate Binder. Quill Strike. Whoop.
weapon.
Yeah, there you go. Stay ranged here.
One.
I'll hit you twice as hard next time!
Pay attention, kids. You might...
Okay. As
See that?
deeply as I am enjoying this and would love to continue playing, it is definitely time to finish. Oh! Professor Tyranny. Yeah, well, they know what they did. Unfortunately, Silveria, you came at a terrible time. It is time to finish for the evening. I will return. It is fun. I was just saying, it is disappointing that I have to end here because it is time to get my baby son's bag ready for daycare tomorrow and get a good night's sleep because, God, I enjoy it. He needs the effort, and I need to be an active parent. It's just how it goes. I have been enjoying Tyranny the same way I enjoyed Pillars of Eternity. In a different way, but still no wholeheartedly enjoyable. In any case, please, check it out, VOD. Come on, buddy. Check it out, VODs, and please, if I say anything else importantly, it is that I hope you have an enjoyable return to work now that the new year is upon us and lovely things lie ahead. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining me for this second episode of Tyranny. I look forward to seeing more of you and more of it. This Wednesday, it's either Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy 12. I don't remember. I can check my calendar. Should update the stream calendar to make sure that's accurate too. Otherwise, please be kind to yourselves and tell the people you love them very much. Good night, everyone.